Can I be heard? Peace to the family. Can I be heard? That's the question. Can I be heard? Peace to the family. Let's go. If y'all coming into the building, you know the rules. Hit like. Hit the like button so that the video is disseminated. That's the way the algorithm works. And show your brother some love. It's your brother, Priest Daniela, Lions of Israel, Maccabees Lions Council. Let's go. Yo, who's gonna be first? Yashakar. Shalom. What's going on? You know, in the world, I hated that name Danny. I ain't gonna hold you. But I'm in the truth, so I ain't mad, man. My man Yashakar, shalom, shalom to you. Heavenly 13, that's my sister Shalom Nava, shalom to you. Here we go. Let's go. Hit the like button.
We praise Yahweh. When we have the brotherhood moments, we praise Yahweh. Every time a heathen die in the city, we praise Yahweh. When we wake up in the morning, we praise Yahweh.
This is fresh off my brother Ephraimite Magun's album that y'all didn't show love. Let's go.
We to teach, we praise Yahweh. When we have the brotherhood moments, we praise Yahweh. Every time a heathen die in the city, we praise Yahweh.
Through your pain and stresses, joy, successes. When you lose it all and when you get your blessings, praise him in the evening, praise him in the morning. Praise him because the Bible says that Babylon is falling. One thing that you might find to lock us up, there's a school to prison pipeline. No mercy on the old or the young men. It's not safe because the projects are a drug den. That's why I don't love them, eat them. They hated me. Spearheaded the tumult, Psalms 83, and now they're repping.
Hey, listen, man. Brothers and sisters, I'm coming to y'all live, right, this afternoon. We know the conscious community right now, listen to me. The conscious community right now, them dudes is standing by grandma, standing in front of the oven. Grandma about to pull a turkey out. And all these niggas that wear unks and they call themselves conscious, they're about to pull out that damn baster and they're about to baste the turkey. Okay. They're going to pull the yams out the oven and they're going to pour some daggone honey, some honey gravy on top of the yams. And they're going to baste the yams because they don't have a standard to stand by. Yo, Israel, I know. Y'all not getting ready for Thanksgiving. I already know. I hope not. Let me see who's in the building, man. I'm just having a good time. Lioness Heart, shalom to you, of course. Israelites Still Learning, shalom to you. Roger Parham, Hebrew Muscle, Still I Rise, Karate Zaya, shalom to everybody. Welcome to another edition of Maccabees TV. It's your brother, Priest Dan, Lions of Israel, Maccabees Lions Council. F1 says, shalom from DC. We're going to be close by DC in April. We're having the Passover down in Baltimore. We're going to get to that in a second. Shout out to my brother, Captain Tazariak, by the way. We're going to talk about that. Right? We're having the Passover down in Baltimore this year. GMS Rebuker and Tempter, brothers, always a good brother, always showing love. So shalom to you too as well. It's all love, man. We all, I love y'all brothers, man, y'all sisters, all of y'all that's holding on. As we get closer and closer to fulfillment of prophecy, and as the Most High begins to turn the stove up and the flames up, I love all you brothers and sisters that's holding on, that's staying resolute with this truth. I love all you brothers and sisters, man. So shalom to you. Let's see who else Chi-Town made. I was just in Chicago for the last Israelite Summit. I think it was in July. I love Chicago. Shalom to you, man. It's a great Benjamin restaurant downtown. I got to get the name again, but they were excellent to us. We went there like about 4 times while we was in Chicago. Beautiful thing. Still I Rise. Shalom to you as well. Welcome to Larry Miller. Larry Miller, we'll get to that wall in Ezekiel later on, but that's not why I'm here. Shalom to you from North Carolina as well. You brothers and sisters, welcome to another edition of Maccabees TV. It's your brother, Priest Dan, Lions of Israel, Maccabees Lions Town Council. Of course, Corey, one of a kind. I see you everywhere. You like my sister Meek. I see Meek up in here a minute ago. I saw her up in here a minute ago. Mika's everywhere. My man Corey, one of a kind, is everywhere as well. Shalom to y'all, man. We don't do these pagan holidays like the conscious community does, right? They talk all that pro-black stuff. 360. It's not 365. We got to take about 5 days away because the conscious community celebrates Easter. The conscious community celebrates 4th of July. They celebrate Labor Day. They celebrate Thanksgiving, and they celebrate Christmas. That's 5. And if I want to add one more, them niggas celebrate Halloween too. All right. Liberation Tabernacle Ministry. Shalom to you. And Shield of Israel. Shalom to y'all. Welcome to another edition of Maccabees TV. I appreciate everybody that's showing some love. Listen, man, the devil gave me 2 days off, man. I'm off tonight and I'm off tomorrow. So I'm going to come with y'all today and I'm just going to talk my SHIT, right? And then tomorrow, I'm going to come to y'all with a PowerPoint. I ain't did a PowerPoint in a while. If y'all want to see y'all brother Priest Dan do a PowerPoint tomorrow, y'all need to hit the 1 in the chat. Hit the 1 in the like, man. Give me some motivation to put it together because I'm going to put it together from scratch. I ain't even got one. But I know what I want to talk about. If y'all want to see me do a PowerPoint live tomorrow, put 1 in the chat. You know what I'm saying? While the conscious niggas is eating turkey and yams and mashed potatoes and everything else, man, I'm going to do a PowerPoint tomorrow. Hey, Mika, let me show you something, right? See this? Hey, Mika, I'm just talking to you. You see this? Man, listen. Your brother Dan, I read and I study. Oh, let me show you, because you might say, I'm showing you a picture, right? Let me just go ahead and let me show you something. Let me put it up to the screen so you can see. Y'all see them yellow streaks in there? I read and I study, right? Let's go. I heard this is gonna be in somebody's book. Yes, I'm looking forward to March heavily. You heard? March 1st. That's the date. Mika, is that the date? March 1st? Is March 1st the date? Let me open that up again. Is March 1st the date that I heard? Because I've been reading. I know we're supposed to be scared of this book, right? But I've been reading. Is March 1st the date? Because I can't wait. You heard? I can't wait. Wow. So the Israelite movement is on life support, huh? That's what you say? Now you're going to be on life support after that book come out. I'm going to tell you that. Yes. All praise to the Most High. Hey, I'm going to get to that in a second. I'm here to talk my... Listen, I ain't got to work tomorrow. So y'all might want to share this. I'm going to talk some shit today. So you might want to share this. Somebody else might need might need something to lift their spirit up. I'm going to talk some shit today. But before I do that, I want to read this article to y'all first. Y'all saw the name of the title of the video, right? I want to talk about this article that I came across my last video. Yeah, Corey, one of a kind. Dudes are saying they're using this book as proof that the Israelite thing is fake, right? Well, that's all I'm going to say. I'm so tempted to go into it now. But I'll be playing myself doing that. No, let's see what's in the book first. But I will tell you this. This guy right here, he's playing games. Yeah, you see the book. You see the title too. Some of y'all may run and get the book after I show it to y'all. I'm going to show you that, listen, man, these guys that come against the Bible and talk about the Bible, they be showing their hand, but you have to have a trained eye. And that's not no disrespect to nobody else, because some of y'all may have a trained eye, but you have to have a trained eye that when you're reading some BS, that you see that it's BS right away and you're able to point it out. Yeah. And so I was doing some reading, and I've had this book for a while, but it was sitting in the corner of my room. And by the way, I'm going to show a shot of my books because I heard I don't read. So I'm going to show a shot of my books. I have over 500 books right over there. Right behind this camera, I got over 500 books. I'm gonna show you that. So I'm gonna show y'all that tomorrow. But I've been reading, and it was kind of interesting what I was reading, and so I had to do a whole PowerPoint just addressing the author of the book. Like, man, you really mad about this Bible thing because you just straight out trying to lie. but I'm not going to reveal that yet. I got to hold that just for a little while, just until March. I heard the date was March 1st. So after March 1st, I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to come back to that because I told y'all I ain't got to go in tomorrow. Normally, so those of y'all that know me know I get up at like 3 in the morning. I got to be at work at like 6. I got to drive down like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. So I get up real early. I don't have to do that tomorrow. So I'm here today and I'm here tomorrow. So I'm gonna be here for a few minutes as long as y'all are engaged with what I'm talking about, right? As long as y'all engaged with what I'm talking about, I'm gonna be here for a little while and I'm here to talk my stuff. But before I get into talking my stuff, I want to read this article first. Before I go any further, I'm approaching 60 people in the chat right now. I'm not sure how many likes I got. I don't even have a window open, but I would ask you, brothers and sisters, if you're here watching this video, you're going to be edified by what I said. I'm not asking y'all for no money. I'm not asking y'all for no donations or nothing. I'm not saying don't do it, but I never asked you for it. But I am going to ask you for one thing. I'm going to hold my hand out for one thing. I just want to just like the video, because what that does is I always tell you, YouTube has an algorithm. The more people that like the video is the more people that are able to see the video when they log into YouTube. I've heard, and I don't know this for a fact because I'm not a YouTube expert, I heard the algorithm works even better when you hit 500 likes. You know what I'm saying? I've hit that sometimes, but I don't always hit that. You know what I'm saying? I might get 100, 200, 300, whatever like that. But if everybody in the room hits the like button, the algorithm will cause more people when they log on to YouTube to see that we're live and able to come on in. I also have not had the opportunity to share this video on social media. So I'm going to ask you, brothers and sisters, if y'all could share this video on social media for me while I'm talking. I've just been trying to kill some time, trying to allow some more brothers and sisters to come in. Let's see who else is in here. Yeah, thank you, Mika. Thank you, Mika. I thought you only had love for one side. You know what I'm saying? I see you in the chat on one side, but you got love. You telling my people that like. Thank you so much. That's my sister Mika, y'all. Y'all gotta show Mika some love, man, so she could come all the way home, man. Cause Mika be straddling the fence, man. One day she over there with the fake woke community. Then when I go live, she over here with me, and she's over there with Captain Tazariak. Oh man. EL, you asked me what song was I playing. That's a song called Praise Yahweh. That's off the brother Ephraimite McGunn's album. There's a lot of Israelite music that y'all haven't heard. I gotta definitely make sure I try to play like a different song every time I go live so y'all brothers and sisters could hear more Israelite music, so y'all can stop listening to the BS that y'all listen to on the radio stations and everything else. I try. You know, I got one more joint coming out. I've been working on my new album. Some of y'all heard my first joint. If you haven't heard my first album, it's on my website. We'll get into that when more people come in the room. But I'm working on a second album, and I think my second album is superior to my first album, only because my first album, I really just threw it together. This time, I'm taking my time. I think y'all gonna love it. I'm trying to make every song on there worthy of a single, but that's neither here nor there. All right. So I'm about to go in. I'm not going to wait any longer. Those that are not here already. As a matter of fact, if y'all don't mind, give me 1 second. I just want to be fair with my brothers and sisters on Facebook. I did not share it, and I don't want to take for granted that some of y'all are going to show your brothers some love and share the video. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my own video. And then once I do that, then I'm going to go in. So y'all saw the title of the video, right? Let me go ahead and mute just for a second. I'm going to mute myself 1 second. Hold on, y'all. That's not going to work. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. That's not going to work. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Don't know why. Copy. Let me just go ahead and share this in a few places on social media. And then we're going to go live. Once again, if you're just coming into the house, y'all know what to do. Hit the like button. Let's bring some more people in the building. The media is talking about two things a lot lately. The media is talking about the Israelite movement, which was not happening in the 90s at all. Trust me. I've been around for a few minutes, just a few minutes. And the media was also not talking about prophecy a lot. But now they are. And what they're doing is they're misconstruing or convoluting prophecy in order to make the Bible seem like it's a book that's just like crazy. So that's what they're doing. So there's an article that came out that I want to put out, and I want to show you, brothers and sisters, how they work. Okay. Some of you may have seen this, and by the way, I don't take any credit. I should probably have figured out who I saw this pages on, because I saw this on actually Facebook, and I don't remember who it was that I took the article from. So whoever they are, shout out to you. You know, I apologize that I didn't remember to give you your credit, but it's all good, right? So let's go ahead. I'm sharing it on one other page. You know, the 3 main pages on Facebook that I deal with. And you brothers and sisters, should the Most High put it on your spirit, can do the rest. All righty, then let's come back over here. Let's go down. All right. So I had about 72 people in the building. I'm sure all of y'all hit the like button already, so I ain't got to continue. Let's go ahead and share the screen. Let me come to the article that I want to come to first. And let's go ahead and share the screen, and we'll go from there. Okay, give me 1 second. All right, brothers and sisters. Hopefully, you brothers and sisters, let me just come back here. Hopefully, you brothers and sisters can see the screen, right? Let me just make sure. Yeah, you brothers and sisters can see the screen. We're good. Okay, so you brothers and sisters, at the top on the address bar, you see the address, right? The name of the website is called breakingisraelnews.com. I always like to come to the about a website, and the reason why I do that is so you brothers and sisters can know that I'm not coming on just any website. I'm not just coming on. Some of these websites are fake news. Like, you know, if you're on Facebook a lot, you'll see people just will see a title and they share the video or the website on Facebook. And some websites are what you call satire websites. They're not real websites. It's not real information. They're satire websites. But the article is so, I guess, engaging that people will sometimes share the link without checking out the website. Like, before I share something with you brothers and sisters, I like to check the credibility of the website to make sure it's not a satire website, so I'm not sharing fake news with you brothers and sisters. So the name of this website is called breakingisraelnews.com. And I came to the about section of the website. You can see it right here. It says, Breaking Israel News offers a fresh and biblical perspective on the latest news from Israel and the Middle East. Our bias is not liberal nor conservative, just biblical. So, brothers and sisters, according to what they're telling us, they're saying to us that they are dealing from a biblical perspective. They're comparing whatever the article is that they're reporting on, they're comparing it to the Bible. That's their contention. So we're going to read this article together and see if that's true. Before I go any further, I just need confirmation one more time, brothers and sisters. If you can hear me, put 1 in the chat. I just want to make sure. I'm back over here. I just want to make sure if I'm able to be heard, put 1 in the chat so I know I can be heard. GMS Rebuker Tempter asked, who ordained them? The answer is Satan. Who else? Who else? That's who ordained them, Satan. Satan ordained them. Yeah. Okay. All righty. Let me come back over here. All right. All right. So this is the website, right? The website is called Breaking Israel News. And the article right here, you brothers and sisters can see, over 200 Israeli rabbis sign a letter thanking Trump for fulfilling the prophecy of Jeremiah. And you brothers and sisters can see the article is by Adam Eliyahu Berkowitz, November 22nd, 2019. This is a recent article. And we have Ronald McDonald in the picture, right? And we have a replica of what looks to be the so-called temple. And we have a scripture. So let's read what the scripture says here. Again, you shall plant vineyards on the hills of Shamron. Men shall plant and live to enjoy them. And this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, and verse 4. Okay. So the article is focusing on Jeremiah. So I'm just going to give you, brothers and sisters, a heads up, right? This article is saying that Donald Trump, as president, is fulfilling the prophecies in Jeremiah chapter 31. Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. If you are an Israelite that have been in this truth any amount of time, you know, and I know, Jeremiah 31 is a very, very familiar scripture. We use it all the time. So according to them, Donald Trump is fulfilling Jeremiah chapter 31. We're going to see if that is true. Okay, I need you brothers and sisters to hold on just 1 second. I gotta just do something here real quick. Just bear with me 1 second. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. I forgot to do one screen right here. Let me just add one other thing. There we go. Good. Okay. Okay, we'll do this right here, and we will add this later. Okay, so now let's go back and let's share the screen again, and let's go ahead and let's read this article, shall we? Okay. You can hide. Let's come here. All right. So once again, this article is on a website called Breaking Israel News. The title of the article is Over 200 Israeli Rabbis Sign a Letter Thanking Trump for Fulfilling the Prophecy of Jeremiah. They say Donald Trump is fulfilling the prophecy of Jeremiah chapter 31. Let's continue reading, shall we? Over 200 rabbis, including the chief rabbis of Israel, sent a letter to President Trump thanking him for his recognition of Israel's right to Judea and Samaria. The letter was composed by Chief Rabbi of Zafat, Rabbi Shmuel Eliyahu, and published in Scrugum. Compare the political move to the prophecy of Jeremiah. Let's continue. So as we go down, this is the prophecy they say that Donald Trump is fulfilling. Again, you shall plant vineyards on the hills of Shamron. Men shall plant and live to enjoy them. This is Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 4. Let's continue. Over 2,500 years ago, the prophet Jeremiah claimed that the nation of Israel will return to the hills of Samaria and plant their vineyards there. The rabbis then cited another verse in Jeremiah as being manifested by Trump's actions. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Yisrael, they shall again say this in the land of Yehuda and in its towns, when I restore their fortunes. Hashem shall bless you, abode of righteousness, O holy mountain. And this is Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 2. So far, they've quoted Jeremiah 31, verse 4, and they've quoted Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 22. So according to them, President Donald Trump is fulfilling the prophecy of Jeremiah 31. This is what they say. Let's continue. We get to live in the generation where these prophecies are fulfilled word for word. 130 years ago, Jews from all over the world started returning to Israel. 72 years ago, the nation was freed from foreign rule. 52 years ago, we returned to Jerusalem, Hebron, and the rest of Judea and Samaria. Our enemies did not accept this and are still trying to stop the process, but God promised to Abraham that your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies. Wait a minute. 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 But God promised to Abraham that your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies. But didn't we just read that they said that Donald Trump actually intervened and helped them politically? Isn't that what we just read? That's what we just read. So Grum compared the political move to the prophecy of Jeremiah. Well, that's a contradiction of what we're reading later, because it says right here, but God promised to Abraham that your descendants will take possession. No, you don't take possession if somebody's doing politics. That's just not the way it works. See, they're trying to fit themselves into prophecy, but it's not working. But we're not done. Let's continue, right? So it says, but God has promised to Abraham that your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies, and we have seen with our own eyes how 5 of you will chase 100. Wait a minute. 5 of you will chase 100, and 100 will chase 10,000, and your enemies will fall by the edge of the sword. So they're quoting prophecy, but they just told you that really they got the land through a political move. They just told you that. They just told you that. It was a political move that got them the land. But then they come down here and they tell you what? How 5 of you will chase 100, and 100 of you will chase 10,000, and your enemies will fall by the edge of the sword. So if that's the case, then how is Donald Trump fulfilling the prophecy of Jeremiah 30? Well, how? Am I missing something? Let me come to the chat. Did I miss something? Let's come back. Okay. Let's keep reading. Let's continue reading. We are grateful for the blessing of peace of the hills of Israel producing fruit, and of the Israeli economy gathering strength, the letter read. We are grateful that the world recognizes Israel's mission to bring joy and hope to the world, to strengthen justice, and to bring everlasting peace. 2 years ago, we got your recognition of the central position Jerusalem has in our country, followed by the recognition of the Golan Heights. And now we are blessed with your recognition of the legality of the Jewish settlements in Judea and Samaria. Do you brothers and sisters see the word legality? That is not what the prophecy says. They even quoted the prophecy right here. It tells you right here, what? It says, 5 of you will chase 100, and 100 of you will chase 10,000, and your enemies shall fall by the edge of the sword. When we come and read further down, now they're talking about legalities and how they got the land through legalities. That's a contradiction. That's a contradiction. And the reason why it's a contradiction is because they're not the people. They're trying to fit themselves into prophecy, but they're not the people. Let's continue. The United States of America were one of the first countries to support the founding of the state of Israel. Where in the Bible does the Bible speak about a state of Israel? That's not in the Bible. Israel is going to be established at the top of the mountains, meaning the top government when you read Isaiah, the 2nd chapter. Israel would not be founded as a state. That's not the prophecy. Let's continue. The presidents of the U.S. were honored to support Israel and be part of fulfillment of the prophet's predictions of the return of Zion and the foundation of the state of Israel. It is a rare honor for you to be the first president to lead this recognition. I have a problem with that. One second. Let's go to the Bible. Isaiah chapter 2. Let's go to the Bible. Chapter 2, right? Let's go to the Bible. Let's see. Isaiah chapter 2. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow to it. When Israel is reestablished according to the prophecy, they're going to be the top nation. They're not going to need a United States or anybody else to establish them or give them credibility. According to the prophecy, they're going to be the top nation. Y'all see that? That's clear. Let's come back to this article, right? Here's what it says. It says the United States of America was one of the first countries to support the founding of the state of Israel. That doesn't fit with prophecy. The presidents of the United States were honored to support Israel and be part of the fulfillment of the prophecy of the prophet's prediction of the return of Zion and the foundation of the state of Israel. Israel wouldn't be a state. Israel will be the top nation, not a state. Not being supported by billions of dollars from the United States government, Israel will be the top nation. That's the prophecy. It is a rare honor for you to be the first president to lead this recognition. Let's continue. God made a promise to Abraham that I will bless those who bless you. He promised the prophet Isaiah, for Zion's sake will I not keep my silence. For Jerusalem's sake I will not remain quiet till her vindication shines out like the dawn, her salvation like a blazing torch. The nations will see your vindication, and all kings your glory. You will be called by a new name that the mouth of the Lord shall bestow. President Trump, you are blessed to see the fulfillment of prophecy. Do you brothers and sisters see how they're trying to force this fake fulfillment of prophecy down our throats? And here's what's amazing to me. If y'all can see what I'm talking about, right? I want you brothers and sisters to hit one in the chat. Hit one in the chat. Let me know that y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking to myself. Y'all see what I'm talking about? Okay, good. Good. Let's come back. Let's come back. Right? Oh, right here. Let's continue. We are sure that you will be remembered in the history of Israel as the leader who stood fearlessly by our side. May God bless you and fulfill you as the promised, what? Joshua. Where's that in the scriptures? Trump is fulfilling himself as the promised Joshua. Where's that in the scriptures? Where did the Most High say when Israel will be established in the last days that the Most High was going to send a promised Joshua? Where's that in the scriptures? And here's the problem that I have. The problem that I have is that we're told by the so-called Christian community, and forget about the white man that calls himself a Christian. Forget about Mark Reiser. Forget about James White. I'm talking to these plantation Christians. You guys like to call us black Hebrew Israelites. You know damn well there's no such thing as a black Hebrew Israelites. The Most High has a people called Israel. They're his chosen. But you give us the misnomer of black Hebrew Israelites. So therefore, from this day forward, it's only right that I also give you a misnomer and call you black plantation Christians. So that's going to be my name for all black people that follow behind this fake Christianity. You are black plantation Christians. If I'm a black Hebrew Israelite, I'm a whole that. I'm gonna eat that. You're a black plantation Christian. Where is this in the scriptures? I'm just gonna help you. It's not. And see, you guys don't question the so-called people that are in the land today. You don't question them. They say stuff like this that's not in the Bible. They say that Trump is fulfilling prophecy. They say that Trump is the chosen one amongst a whole bunch of other stuff, and you say nothing. And your whole aim and focus is to disprove and debunk and defame us. You know why? Because this truth is a threat to you. That's why. That's why. Have you ever noticed why the conscious community is putting video after video after video after video after video after video up about the Israelites? And then the Christians are doing it. And then the so-called Jews are doing it. Everybody's doing it. They ain't doing it to the Moors. They're not doing it to the Muslims. They're not doing it to the Comedics. Everybody's beef is with the Israelites because this is the truth. And the Bible says no weapon formed against us shall prosper. That's what the Bible says. And the Bible says what you mean for our harm is really going to benefit us. Yesterday, Sonetta reposted a video that's like 3 or 4 years old, right? And I guess the video was supposed. I mean, you for the last like 2 weeks, he's been reposting nothing but old videos. Go to his Sonetta TV channel. Look at the last 2 weeks. He's been posting nothing but videos with Israelites or anti-Israelite videos for the last 2 weeks. Old videos back from 2016, 17, 18, etc. He's been posting those videos. Those are supposed to make us look bad. Why is my phone ringing? Why am I getting so many messages on Facebook and Instagram in my inbox of people saying, thank you. I never saw that video. Can you teach me history? Can I get down with Lions of Israel? Will you be my mentor? Why am I getting those messages? I thought they were supposed to make us look bad. That's what you thought. That's what you thought. But I got message after message after message after message. This is my first time seeing that. Oh, wow, you killed them. Oh, wow, the information was deep. Oh, wow, can you teach me? Because what's meant for our harm, really, the Most High turns it around and makes it for our benefit. That's the way the Lord works. All praise to the Most High Yahweh. Let's continue. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid and do not be discouraged, for the Lord God will be with you whithersoever you go. Okay, so that's the article right there, right? So we see right here, I want to keep it, let me go ahead and I want to keep it right there. So according to them, Trump is fulfilling the prophecies of Jeremiah 31, and they particularly highlighted verses 4 and verses 22. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Jeremiah chapter 31 ourselves. And let's look at some of the verses that they didn't talk about. This is how we know this ain't talking about them. Watch this. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 31. And we want to go down to verse 31. And the first thing I want to say to you is this, right? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31. This is what it says. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. The house of Israel and Judah, because Israel split into two. The kingdom, the nation split into two. It was two different kingdoms. Now, I've heard the question asked, why do you guys need a New Testament? Why do you guys need a New Testament? The word testament and covenant are interchangeable. Those two words are interchangeable. So when you read about the New Testament is the new covenant. That was already spoken about in the book of Jeremiah 31, verse 31. And it's really not even a New Testament. It is a renewed covenant or a renewed testament, meaning the Most High already had a covenant with Israel. Israel violated the covenant. We were punished, and the Most High is going to renew the covenant with the same people he had the original covenant with. That's here, and that's also in the book of Hebrews, the 8th chapter. So the Most High is going to make a new covenant with the house of Israel. This is Jeremiah chapter 31 that they used, but we're reading verse 31. Let's continue, right? Verse 32, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which covenant they break. That's why the Most High needs a New Testament. That's why. Because I've heard that stupid question asked by the conscious community. That's why the Most High needs a New Testament, a new covenant, because Israel broke the first covenant. That's why. The end of verse 32. Although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. The Most High wasn't literally a husband like your husband lays down with a wife like you have sex. That's not what it's talking about. The Most High was in agreement with us. We had a covenant. We had an agreement and we violated it. That's what it's talking about. Verse 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my laws in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. Verse 34 is the point. And they shall teach no more every man their neighbor. This is the first sign that Trump is not fulfilling no prophecy. Because when we come back to the article and we go up to the very first part article, it says over 200 rabbis, including chief rabbis. What do you need chief rabbis for if Trump is fulfilling Jeremiah chapter 31? You're not going to need no chief rabbis and nothing else, because Israel, the Most High, is going to put the laws in their minds and their hearts. You won't need nobody to teach nobody else, because we're all going to be keeping the laws instinctively and automatically, according to Jeremiah chapter 31. Let's go back. Let's look at it again. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. Nope. Let's go back. I skipped. Let's go back. Jeremiah 31. And I believe I was in verse 33. Yep. But this shall be my covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. I will put my laws in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor. You are not going to need a rabbi. You're not going to need somebody to teach you, because the Most High is going to put them laws in you where you do them instinctively. You guys still have chief rabbis. How can you be fulfilling Jeremiah 31? You cannot. That's a lie. You cannot. Let's continue. Let's go back. And every man, his brother, saying, know the Lord, for they shall all know me. This is point number 2. When we're fulfilling Jeremiah 31, when the Jews, the Israelites, the real people of God are fulfilling Jeremiah chapter 31, what does it say? They shall all, let's come on, let's highlight this word right here. All know me, for they shall all know me. There's not going to be one Jew. When Jeremiah 31 is being fulfilled, there will not be one Jew or one Israelite that will not know the Most High. Okay. Then I came over here and I realized what? You so-called Jews are saying that you're fulfilling the prophecy of Jeremiah 31, yet it shows me that the new poll shows that a lot of Jews are what? Atheists. A lot of so-called Jews are atheists, meaning they don't believe in the Most High. How can you as a people living in the land of Israel be fulfilling Jeremiah 31 when some of you in that land are atheists? When the Bible says in that day, all of Israel is going to know the Most High. That's what the prophecy says. That's why you guys didn't read down to verse 34. You stopped at 22. That's what you did. You stopped at 22. But when you come down to verse 34, it says all of us are going to know the Most High. Everybody. You can't fulfill that because some of you are atheists. Y'all don't see that? Let's continue. From the least to the greatest of them, meaning everybody's going to know the Most High when Jeremiah 31 is being fulfilled. There will be no atheists in the land. If you are atheist, call yourself an atheist in the land in the day where we are restored back to our land, you will not breathe for very long. All praise to the Most High. I'm going to leave that right there. Let's continue. Saith the Lord, for I will forgive them of their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. So this is a joke, brothers and sisters. This is a joke. They're trying to fit themselves into prophecy. It's nothing really, it's not really surprising. This is what they do. But you have to be also aware of Scripture and understand Scripture to be able to understand that they're trying and they're failing at fitting themselves in prophecy. And the reason why Christians don't challenge them, and the reason why the fake woke conscious community doesn't challenge them, because all of them, whether intentionally or by proxy, and if you don't know what proxy means, look it damn up. Whether intentionally or by proxy, all of them work for the so-called white man that's trying to destroy this truth. You don't have to be getting a check from the white man to work for the white man. You could just be as simple as you want to be and don't know a damn thing. And so you coming against brothers and sisters saying that we're not the Jews, realizing the people that's in the very land of Israel, they're also not fulfilling prophecy, but you ain't got nothing to say about that because you are a proxy for the Roman Catholic Church. That goes for all these Christian apologists. That goes for the fake woke conscious community. That goes for the Muslims and everybody else. All of you are proxies for the Roman Catholic Church. And we see you. And we know what time it is. Because the Most High gives us the spirit of discernment, man. That's why I said, man, I got this book right here. This book is supposed to debunk us. I got this book right here, but we got the spirit of discernment. So we're going to get busy in March and April. We're going to get busy. Well, I'm going to get busy myself. All praise to the Most High. Let me stop sharing my screen for a second, man, because I get a little I get a little passionate about this stuff, man. That's just me. Like when I see BS, man, I have to call it for what it is. You know? I have to call it for what it is. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Hey, GMS Sharmuff, Judah, shalom to you. Mika, you got the eye symbols there. What I'm Hey, you know, this is what I'm gonna say, right? This is what I'm gonna say to y'all. Look, there's nothing. Listen, this is the truth. This is the truth. It doesn't matter. It's supposed to seem a little bit hazy. It's supposed to seem a little bit confusing. It's supposed to. Because the truth is not for everybody. The truth is only for the elect. It's supposed to. So if you are of the elect, you're going to see clearly. Christ said, my sheep hear my voice. Another will they not follow. Right? Then Christ said this. Let me get that real quick. Hold on. Let me get another scripture real quick. Christ also said this. Right. We're going to go to real quick another scripture. I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. Let's go here real quick. I got so many windows open. Y'all got to pardon me, man. I'm confusing my daggone self. That's a daggone shame, right? All right, let's go ahead and let's oops. I just did something crazy right there. Okay. God. Okay, let's go here. This is Matthew chapter 13, verse 9. This is what it says. It says, who hath ears, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest unto them in parables? This is verse 11, Matthew 13, verse 11. It says, he answered and said unto them, because it's given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them is not given. The mysteries, the secrets, the understanding, having eyes to see, having eyes and ears to discern, wisdom to discern certain things is not given to everybody. It's just not. That's a spiritual thing. And everybody's not going to understand that. Everybody feels like they can pick up a book and just understand it. Everybody feels like they can pick up a Bible and they can get a Bible commentary. You go to get a Bible commentary, right? You open up a page with a Bible commentary on it and you read it. You open up a page, a book with some Bible history in it, and you read it, and you think the Spirit is with you. But this is a spiritual book. This is a living book, whether you understand it or not. And I know a lot of you are not. I'm not talking to you Israelites. I'm talking to the rest. A lot of you not going to understand. This is a living and breathing book, and it's only given to the elect to understand it. I'm not saying I'm of the elect until I make it to the end, when Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, Jesus Christ comes back. I don't know whether I'm of the elect or not, but I know that the Most High is using me as a vessel for now, to help proliferate and push this word. I know that. And the Most High has given me understanding and wisdom to be able to push this word for now. I know that. And help wake people up. I know that. I know that. And I know that everybody don't have that. It's not for everybody. This is a living and breathing book. And the Most High also gives you the spirit of discernment when somebody's telling a lie to be able to see it. I keep holding up this book for a reason. Because I was told that I didn't have it, or this is going to be used as a weapon against us. I don't think so. This dude, confirmation bias. Take it from me. I'm going to show you. I got a PowerPoint. I already started on it. This guy, confirmation bias. Confirmation bias. Now I have a question for you, brothers and sisters. And I want to come back to my screen so I can see y'all answers. How many brothers and sisters know? 1 second. Hold up. Adolphus Last, the water for the donation. You always donate, man. Every time I go live, I appreciate you. I don't do this for that, but thank you. Everything helps. How many brothers and sisters know what a chronological synchronism is? A chronological synchronism. This is important. If you know what it is, put 1 in the comments. If you don't know what it is, then don't put nothing. If I don't see nothing, then I know the brothers and sisters don't know. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't know, you should be pulling out something to write that term down with and look it up yourself. Because you need it. Whether you realize it or not or now, at the moment, you're going to need this. Okay. Is there anybody that knows what a chronological synchronism is? Now, I've never gone over it on this channel, but I've gone over it on other channels. And I guess, Mika, you're right. You're close. Very good. Mika been reading, y'all. Quiet as kept. She just need to, stay on this Israelite side and just be loyal. Mika, you need to be loyal. But nevertheless, what is a chronological synchronism? Okay. So I see brothers and sisters don't know. That's okay. You might want to write that phrase down. Thank you. Dwayne Yosef wrote that. Y'all see that? That's a chronological synchronism. That's a chronological synchronism. It's a very, very important piece of history. And what it is that you take the records of 2 different societies at a particular time in history and you match them. Because a lot of times people will tell you that the Bible is fake, but you can find many of the histories of the Bible in other records. For instance, when you have something like the Tel Dan Stele, right? When you have something like the Moabite stone that speaks about the house of David or whatever, so forth and so on. Now you're reading about certain things in the Bible outside the Bible, what you call extra biblical sources. And these are primary sources, by the way, right? So you might find an event that's written about in the Bible, but you can also find correlating chronologies in other civilizations that write about the same event as well. Those are called chronological synchronisms. You can find chronological synchronisms when the Assyrians came against the northern kingdom of Israel and overthrew the northern kingdom of Israel. You can read certain accounts about that both in the Bible and in the records of the Assyrians themselves. They also have that. That's a chronological synchronism. It's taking place at the same time, and you can find it both in the Bible and also in the records of the Assyrians. You can also see that when Nebuchadnezzar came against Israel as well. You can find that in the Bible, and you can find that also in certain records of the Babylonians as well. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? If you understand, put 1 in the chat. If you understand, put 1 in the chat. These are chronological synchronisms. Chronological synchronisms are also tools that we use so that we can understand about the Exodus, because that's something else that the conscious community is trying to use against us. They're saying the Exodus never happened. And you will have to use certain chronological synchronisms to, if you're going to deal with this academically, to address that. Okay. One of the chronological synchronisms that we use, they try to use the Armana letters against us. I'm not getting into any of that right now. I've already gone over these things, probably not on this channel. So I don't expect some of y'all to know. Some of y'all that follow me more intently, you see some of my other channels. Y'all know what those are, and you've seen the videos there. But I probably haven't gone over it on this channel. But as we approach the Passover season, I'm going to go more into that. But we use chronological synchronisms to talk about the Passover and when it took place and what the archaeological record actually shows. Okay, so this particular author, he used a chronological synchronism. Well, he used a few in his book, right? He found records amongst the other nations to substantiate what the Bible is saying, which the conscious community is not going to bother to tell you. They're not going to bother to tell you that. But I'm going to bother to tell you because I have the book. He used chronologies and records from other nations to support the biblical narrative. But when it didn't fit his particular opinion, he took some liberties. And so I have a PowerPoint addressing some of the liberties that he took. And the reason why I'm using this particular book, because a particular individual that hates the Bible is using this as a source in his book. So since he's using it, I got to take this author to task for some BS that he did in his book. See, we read everything. I don't know who told the conscious community that we don't read. We read. My elders raised me. My elders, when I say that my elders, yes, I come from the original One West. I came up under the 7 elders. Those were my teachers directly. And they taught me to read everything. But the method was you chew the meat, you spit out the bones. You hear that all the time now. Everybody's saying that, but that came from them, right? They were the first ones to say that back in 92, 93. You chew the meat, you spit out the bones. So I read everything, and I use the Bible as a filter to filter out the bones. That's the way that you research. Now, I had a brother that watched a video that was put up yesterday, and he's asking me for some of the good history books to read. Like, where does he start in the history? Because the history is so vast. Where does he start? I'm probably going to do a video on some of the best books to start with when you're reading histories. But brothers and sisters, the Bible, see, I have a problem. I'm going to tell y'all, brothers and sisters, honestly, why I don't do too much of that. Even though I do show y'all some books I deal with. Because brothers and sisters, I've seen brothers that I'll start showing them books and they become more enamored with the books than they do with the Bible. And I have a problem with that. And so I take that personally, and I take that as, you know, what's the best way for me to put that? I take that sort of as the Most High showing me that you can't introduce everybody to the books right away. You cannot. They got to have some type of foundation in the Bible, because they're going to just want to read history. This is a spiritual book. This is a spiritual book. Granted, there's certain portions of this book that you can't understand if you don't understand history. That's a fact. I'm not even going to lie to you. If you don't know history, you can't break down Daniel's 2, Daniel 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2nd Esdras 11, 12, 13. You can't break those chapters down without knowing some history. I don't deny that. But some brothers, they get so caught up into the history that they don't understand this is a living, breathing, real book. And it's a spiritual book, and you have to understand that portion first. So there's a balance. So I'm going to do something on that. Most High will in the future. Well, GMS rebuke attempted. Your elders say that because your elders were my elders. You know what I'm saying? You know that. Your elders were my elders. That's where we got it. So that's why. No, I wouldn't say, well, let me say this. I'm not trying to be funny, Mika. He don't make us study harder. What he does is he brings different arguments that we may not have been familiar with that was out there, but he doesn't make us study harder. Some of these arguments, most of the arguments that he says we've already heard before. They're not new arguments. The whole biblical minimalist arguments are old arguments. We've heard those before. So he hasn't really made people study harder, but he might have a different angle on a particular thing than we've heard before. So now he brought it from this angle, so we'll look into that angle, but it's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing. It's nothing groundbreaking. And as a matter of fact, really and truly, not trying to be funny, there's no original scholarship in any of his work. And that's not to diss him, that's just true. He might make fun of me because I have stuff that's not the consensus, and Divine might have stuff that's not the consensus, and other brothers might have stuff that's not the consensus, but at least we bring original research and scholarship to the table. He does not. Everything is a parrot of what somebody else said. So, you know, we have to look at that as well. Yeah. Right. Dwayne Yosef said, we've been studying. And that's a fact. That's a fact. I got most of my books. If I listen, one of these days, I did a library challenge and a library challenge too. If I was to show y'all, if I was to turn the camera and show you my books, most of these books I have are out of print. So I didn't get them because of him. These books are out of print because I've had them for 20 years. Been studying them for 20 years. So that's just not true. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? If anything, and I got the video, I got the audio, he can't say, he said because of information that I brought out that made him study harder. How come you didn't bring that out, Mika? How come you didn't bring that out? Information that I brought out made him study harder. And when he puts his book out, you're going to study harder too. We're going to get at that book. By the way, I got some events coming up on Maccabees real soon. He's actually going to be on Maccabees TV. He said it on his channel today. He wants to have a debate with Brother Mikael Israel from Chicago. So if brothers want to have a debate on the channel will be open. They can have their discussion on the channel. I'll be a fair moderator. I won't take sides. I'll be fair like I was the last debate we had. As far as me and him is concerned, because that's the one that everybody's waiting for. Everybody's waiting for that discussion. First, it was me and Shaka, but Shaka done disappeared. So everybody's waiting for me and Garfield to sit down. That's going to happen when his book comes out. When his book comes out, which is supposed to be March 1st, I need 30 days to review his book. And then I'll do it on whatever platform he wants to do it. If he's not mad at me after I do his book, probably a little dirty. You know what I'm saying? But that's when it's going to be. So that's probably going to be right around the time of the Passover. You know, Israel makes sacrifices during the Passover. So that's going to be the perfect time to make a sacrifice with his book. Yeah, we're going to do a debate like around, I would say, the springtime, because I don't want it to be just focused on the whole King James thing. I think that that's too narrow of a subject, and people be trying to pigeonhole me in the whole King James thing. And I'm not trying to be funny. None of these dudes is really studied on that. Like, they've been studying that for like a year and a half at best. And many of the sources that I have, they don't have. I just don't want to release them yet until they put a book out so I can really nail them down. Right. Wikipedia is a good place to start. To answer your question, Wikipedia is a good place to start. Judah 12 Rands. It's a good place to start, but it's not a good place to finish. You have to go outside of Wikipedia, because Wikipedia is subjective, like I always tell y'all, meaning the person that's writing the article, they're only going to include the articles that support their argument. So you have to go outside. You have to know and have information outside of Wikipedia to fact check the person that wrote the article. Other encyclopedias are not like that, like Britannica and other ones, they're not like that. But Wikipedia, anybody could submit an article to Wikipedia. So you have to fact check the article and make sure that the article is on point. That's what I've been telling brothers and sisters. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with using Wikipedia, because I use it, but fact check the author, because there's a lot of confirmation bias with the articles that are written on it. The person is writing something, and that's their research and what they know, and there may be other information that totally debunks the article that they wrote, but you'd never know because you stopped at the article. That's what I keep saying. All right, that's very, very important. I've debunked Wikipedia articles myself, like particularly, and it's on this channel, I debunked the Wikipedia article on David McRitchie. They were saying that David McRitchie messed this up, he messed that up. And when I went and looked, he didn't mess none of that stuff up that they were saying. The author just wasn't aware, and the author even lied in the article as well. But that's not for neither here nor there. All right, family, I'm not going to be too long, because I'm probably going to come back tomorrow with a PowerPoint presentation. Let me see what y'all talking about in the chat. Okay, so Holy Samurai Jerusalem says, is the book we have known as the Bible in complete authorization, or do we have missing knowledge, separate scriptures, and tablets? Well, The Most High gave us what he wants us to have. That's my best way for me to answer that question. The Most High gave us what he wants us to have. Were there other books and stuff that were part of the Bible? Sure. When you go through the book of Chronicles, it tells you about other books. In the book of Kings, it tells you about other books, other records that we have. But the Most High gave us what he wants us to have, which is enough because we know the truth. We were able to come back to our nationality just based on what we have. All right. But sure, there were other books. There were other books that told us how to eat, that told us about herbs, that gave us more insight and information into some of the kings and our history, et cetera, et cetera. Sure, there are other books. Absolutely, 100%. But what we really need to sustain ourselves, and this is what's important because this question was asked in the conscious community. How could you follow the Bible if the Bible is not complete? Because the books that are not in the Bible might be books that's dealing with histories and kings and stuff like that. But the laws of the Most High, the laws, statutes, and commandments, that's what's complete. The laws, statutes, and commandments are complete. And you have to keep those laws, statutes, and commandments through faith in Hamashiach Yahushua in order to be saved. And that's complete. That's what needs to be complete. And the laws of the Most High are complete. So we have what we need to be able to receive salvation. 100%. Uzziah asked if the curriculum is set yet. Yeah, the curriculum is still being put together. I know that some brothers and sisters were asking me about the Lions of Israel curriculum that we have as far as our 6-month program. That's being put together. Sometime next week, probably, I'll give you brothers and sisters. Sometime in December, I'll give you brothers and sisters more details. I'm starting that up like the 12th of January, which is like the second week of January, or somewhere around there. The 12th of January, I'm going to start that curriculum up. I'll give y'all more details about that shortly. I'm still working out some of the finer details of that. All right. So all praises to the Most High. Let's see what else we have. Right. GMS Sharmoth, 100%. Con. Roger Parham said the 80 books that we have is all that we need right now. Yeah. And even so, as long as we have the commandments, the laws, then that's really what we need. That's it. You know what I'm saying? We have to know how to worship the Most High properly and how to deal with each other properly. You know what I'm saying? All the other stuff as far as knowing our history and all that superficial stuff, you know, it's not going to save you. The Pharisees had that. The Pharisees had that and they wasn't right or righteous, right? So you need them laws, statutes, and commandments through faith in Hamashiach Yahushua. That's what we need in order to be delivered, and we have that completely. You know what I'm saying? The biggest issue amongst our people, man, we don't know how to deal with each other. We don't know how to treat each other. We don't respect each other. We don't do none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? We don't know any of that stuff. We don't have no moral or civil laws when it comes to each other, you know, and that's what's affecting us. So that's what we need to master, right? Not the history, none of that stuff. You know, the laws of how to deal with the Most High and how to deal with each other. Roger Parham said a book, a Hebrew definition book as well. It's always good to have. Somebody said something about the Talmud. I don't know. You said the Talmud, LOL. I don't know what your comment was about the Talmud. We don't necessarily deal with the Talmud outright. Am I saying that there's nothing in there that you can't glean? There's always something in everything that you can glean. You can take the Book of Mormon and take some stuff out of there. You can take the Quran and take certain passages out of there. We do it all the time, but we don't deal with the Talmud as a whole. Those are not wholly inspired writings by the Most High God. We don't deal with that. Fish, all praises to the Most High. Well, you see the number, man. Give me a call. Give me a call. You said you're new to the knowledge. Give me a call. There's a lot of people new. I got a lot of calls from a lot of new people this week. Just based on, again, I got to thank Sonetta. He put up an old video from like 4 years ago. It was supposed to make Israelites look bad. And I got so many calls from him putting that video out. It's Most High is beautiful, man, the way he turns things upside down. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Let me see. Are there any other questions before I get out of here, family? Because I'm going to try to come back tomorrow. I'm a little tired right now. I want to put together a quick lesson for tomorrow and go live. I don't want nobody to be tempted to go sit with their family and have some daggone Thanksgiving dinner. You know, I don't want nobody to be tempted. So I'm gonna come back tomorrow. The conscious community, they're gonna be having Thanksgiving tomorrow. So they're gonna be too busy. So, but we, you know, that's the beauty of this truth. Ask a conscious person, nigga that says they're conscious, that says the Bible is fake. Ask them, do they celebrate Thanksgiving or Christmas, whatever? And if not, why not? Because you can't say the laws of Ma'at. The laws of Ma'at don't speak against paganism. First of all, those aren't even laws. I keep telling y'all, when y'all see those 42 things in Egypt, those are called declarations of innocence, meaning they're said after the person died. Those are not laws that govern you in life, that tell you if you commit adultery, you shall be put to death. If you commit idolatry, you shall be put to death. So those are not laws. Those are said after you die that you didn't do those things. Where's the laws at? So you could be a pagan and wear ankh. You could. It's a fact. So that's why you have some of these conscious Negroes that's talking about they celebrating Thanksgiving for the kids. Because they have no moral compass, man. There's nothing that really guides them. They want to get you out the Bible. They don't want you to follow the Bible no more, but they ain't got nothing to give you. Once you come out that Bible, they have nothing to give you. That's why you ever watch some of these people that, first of all, let me say this. Let me say this, right? Anytime you have something called ex-Israelite, because this term is thrown around a lot. I used to be an Israelite, right? These ex-Israelites, I want you to bring them forward so we can see them. Here's the reason why I say that. Most of these people that are ex-Israelites were never really fully rooted in the truth to begin with. A lot of them might have watched a couple of videos. They may have acknowledged that Christ was black. They may have tried to keep the Sabbath a few times or whatever like that. They was never really rooted and sincere in his truth. I keep hearing, I gotta call him. I keep hearing Garfield say all the Dagger Squad members, former Israelites, bring them forward. Let's see them. I want to know a little bit about their Israelite past. Who was you affiliated with? What camp or who was you studying with? Like, what was you doing? Because I don't believe it. I believe that these dudes were lukewarm to begin with, and women, whoever they are, were lukewarm to begin with. They never really believed in the scriptures to begin with. They were dibbling and dabbling in this, dibbling and dabbling in that, and they just wound up staying over there because this was not for them to begin with. That's what I see. Because if you're really in this, if you're really rooted in this, you can't leave this, man. This is with you for life. This is with you for life. You can't leave it because you know everything else is fake. You leave the Bible tomorrow and say, you know what? I'm gonna start following traditional African religions. Okay, tell me about tell me what traditional African religion that you're into, and what's the laws on homosexuality with that, which destroys the black family, which is destroying our families. When you have two women that's sleeping together and two men are sleeping together, that destroys the very root of any nation, which is the family. What is this new African tradition that you're into? What does it say about homosexuality? And don't tell me your words. I want you to show it to me codified. Codified. We have codified word. It's the Bible. If you don't know what the word codified means, look it up. We have the codified word, which is the Bible, that tells us what that act is. Now you match me and show it to me and what you're dealing with. I want to see it. And show me your dietary laws while you're at it too, that prevent you from eating scavengers like shrimp, lobster, and crab, and pig, and all the rest of the stuff. Show it to me. I want to see it. You don't have it. It's fake. That's all you have. It's fake. That's it. Y'all over here. Garfield is in the link. He said he want to talk. Y'all want me to talk to Garfield? Garfield is in the chat. He said he wants to talk. Y'all want me to talk to him? If you want me to talk to Garfield, I'll let him in for a few minutes. I didn't plan on being on much live for much longer. Oh yeah, I knew y'all. Oh, Mika, of course you said yes. Garfield, put your email in the chat. Put your email in the chat. I'll bring you on. Now, y'all be respectful. We're gonna have a respectful conversation. Garfield, put your email in the chat. Let me open up a new window. Put your email in the chat. Yeah, I wasn't planning on being on that much longer. Now you're saying give you 5 minutes. I wasn't planning on being on that much longer. So, Fish, you from Trinidad. Okay, I see you. Dwayne Yosef, I see you. Shalom. Some of y'all want me to let him in. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. And we're going to be respectful. And I'm going to ask you, brothers and sisters, to be respectful as well. Right? So we'll do that. It's not a problem. Yashikar Shalom says, get some rest. Yeah, that's a fact. And I'm hungry too. I got some food waiting for me. But you know, it's all good. My sister, who I respect because she's always let me go back up to her comment. I respect her because she's always a supporter. So my sister Chocolate City Girl says, when are we going to start ignoring these people? They don't make any sense and it's not helping us at all. Like, let's be real, he's going to say something foolish and then you're going to try to correct him. Well, first of all, I want to say, sister, I respect you because you're always respectful, and I respect your opinion as well. And it's not taken lightly. But one thing I'm going to say is that if we allow certain things just to be said and left untouched, some of our people, and they're not of the elect. I already know somebody's going to say, well, they're not of the elect. Some of our people will be deceived by that. So the majority of the people say to me that when I address certain things, they're edified by that. It helps them for me to address certain things and not let it sit, right? And as I mentioned, Sanetta put a video up. It's me and Shaka going back and forth on his channel. And I got a lot of inboxes from people today that watched the video that was like, thank you. And I want to learn from you. And I want to get some information from you. This is people that are watching that video. The video is supposed to make us look bad, but it didn't. Well, it might have for some people, but those who are of the elect, it didn't make us look bad. They were edified by it and they want to learn more. And this is what I'm saying. So sometimes going back and forth does help, believe it or not. But I do respect what you're saying, sister. And I'm not okay. So if you're ready, put your email in the chat. Put your email in the chat. Chocolate City Girl, where you at? You're in Florida? Because if you're in Florida, my intention is to come down for the summit. That's my intention. Okay. I got you. All right. It says that the email was sent, so I don't know if you got it or you didn't get it. No, we're just having a conversation, family. It's not going to be a debate. I'm just going to hear him out today. Just going to hear him out. Just going to hear him out. That's all. Hopefully you got it. I don't know. Let me just double check, make sure I sent it to the right place. Do it again. Yeah, so Marlo the trucker said, you're losing people, try harder. I don't know, you talking to me? I'm not losing anybody. The Most High said, when you read the book of Amos, the 9th chapter, the Most High said, the least grain shall now fall from the ground. I'm not losing anybody. Nobody that's meant to be of the elect or saved is going to be lost. I'm not losing anybody. When you read the book of St. John 17, Christ said he didn't lose any. He lost Judas, but he said he didn't lose any, save the son of perdition. So we're not losing anybody at all. That's not to say that people are not so-called, for lack of a better word, falling out of the truth. That's always been. When has that not been? When has that not been? That's always been. That's not, there's nothing about that that's, there's nothing about that that's worrisome or nothing like that. I'd be more concerned if we didn't lose people. But we're not going to lose the elect. There's a difference. So you gotta let me know, brother. I'm just looking at the chat. You gotta let me know if you got the invite or didn't. I definitely did send it. As a matter of fact, let me just go ahead and send it again. Oh, okay. You know what? Yeah, okay, I messed it up. My bad. You said there's an A. Got copy. Okay. All right, let's see that. All right. All right, I resent it, so you should be getting that shortly. Let me find myself now. Where was it? Where am I? I didn't intend on being on for so long, but I'm willing to wait. I'd like to hear what the brother has to say. Yeah, hold on one second. Hold on one second, y'all. Hey, Garfield, you can hear me?
Hey, peace and love, man. Peace and love. How are you?
You look like you need some sleep. Hey, Garfield, you can hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you loud and clear. Peace and love.
Do I have it? Hold on. I might have another window open or something because there's like you need.
No, that's me. That's me.
That's you.
My bad.
Okay.
All right.
You look like you need some sleep, man. You all right?
Yeah, I'm on my way to Florida tomorrow because I'm going to a Hebrew conference tomorrow. Actually, not tomorrow, on Friday and Saturday. But peace. First of all, peace and thanks for having me on. And how you doing, by the way? You sound like you need some rest yourself also. I hear you sniffling. But that's that New York weather. No, the only reason why I asked for the link, just to make it clear to everybody, is one, to let everybody knows on Maccabees TV, I don't have a problem with Daniela or the Lions of Israel. I never had, and I never will. I just have a disagreement with information and how we put out information and so forth. That's just my gripe. You know, as Daniela has pointed out a lot, that I'm like the corrector. I like to correct people's information, and my book is going to be the opportunity for him and others to correct me, get a chance to correct me and whatever I'm putting out. But I want to say, first of all, peace, shalom, one love to everybody that's listening. There's no animosity here. The second reason why I want to come on is because I heard Michael Ben Israel say something months ago, and I heard you just repeat it, about can we show a codified law? And I don't think the premise is a good one to try to get an answer for. And the reason why I say that is because with Egypt, there's supposed to be some law against homosexuality, man not lie with man. But I'm not talking about Egypt, because I don't deal with Egypt. I'm not an Egypt guy. I'm a West African guy. So I only deal with West Africa. So what I say is, in West Africa, we know West Africa deals with oral history. And because they deal with oral history, you're not going to find a written codified law, because for one, there's an initiation process. There's rites of passage. There's personhood. There are different things that you have to learn within the culture. And of course, homosexuality has been strongly vilified in the African culture for a very, very long time. I give a quick example. Even Mugabe, as old as he was, you know, in his 90s, he was like, listen, you can't have that in my country. In some African cultures, you can't do it at all. You know, shame on the place where I was born, Jamaica. They're more relaxed now. They're having gay parades in Jamaica. I'm even ashamed to say I'm a Jamaican right now because of that. So what happened is that all these cultures have been infiltrated by the West. And when I say the West, I mean America. I mean the ways of America. There's a guy running for president. I know you can't stand him just because of what he stands for. But what his name, Buttigieg or whatever his name is. Yeah. And let me tell you something. Our quote unquote first black president really paved the way for a gay president. And the people that donated to Obama the most was the gays. And I mean, I'm changing the conversation a little bit. I just wanted to add that in, that the reason why Obama won the second election, because he had money from the gay folks, period. He had the support of the gays, and he made gays in the military, and gays doing this, gays could do this, gays could get married. So he was more like a gay president instead of a black president. So now this guy, Buttigieg, now is the answer. This is the guy who they want in power as president, because now it will show the whole world, hey, a homosexual could be president of the United States. And guess what? He's going to be representing us, me and you. You might say, Daniela, he's not representing me. We know what you stand for. I know what I stand for. But we're still in America. This is out the country where we live and where our kids grow up. So now our kids going to see a gay president. They're going to think being gay is correct. But to get back to one last point, African cultures are not going to have anything written or codified. If you go back to Timbuktu, even if you go back to Timbuktu and read all the Hebrew texts, all the texts that they've read and translated, I don't think they've read all of them, but you won't see any laws. It more have to do with trade and New World stuff that they were building and all that stuff. You won't find any codified laws in Africa of written stuff. But what you'll find is oral traditions. You'll find personhood, people who've been initiated. You will not find that. So I think.
So let me ask you a question. If I may ask you a question, right? Mm-hmm. So you say that you'll find oral tradition amongst the West Africans against homosexuality. I don't have a problem with that. I would say that I agree with that. So here's my question to you, and this is not really a debate. I'm kind of just, since you're here, just asking you questions. I want to see where your mind is at. Some areas, like with homosexuality, you tell me about oral tradition amongst the West Africans. Mm-hmm. And when we tell you about oral tradition amongst certain West African tribes that say that their tradition tells them that they are Israelites, then you reject it. So in what cases do you accept oral tradition? And in what cases do you reject oral tradition?
Okay, that's a very, very good question. I love that question. You see, because a lot of folks, they'll play tiptoe and try to tiptoe through the tulips and try to get away from this question. And it's kind of like a dagger question. It's like a question. It sounds like a little Garfield rubbing off on Daniela here. But listen to me carefully now. This is where the Hebrews don't accept folks like myself or from the quote unquote conscious community, because you say, okay, Garfield, we have an oral tradition from such and such. Why is it you don't accept when they say they are Hebrews, but you accept when they say that they against homosexuality, they accept all of that? You see, it has to do with two things. It has to do with traditional faith, West African traditional faith. As a matter of fact, hold on one second. Yeah, here's this book right here. This book is called Traditional Religion in West Africa. All right, it's a very rare book. And what it shows is the traditional religions overall, and even some of their connections to the Bible, right? And these guys are Bible believers. But what they did was they used sources from traditional faith. I know you're probably familiar with Benjamin Nige, who's a part of the Masi warrior clan, right? And Ben is initiated in one of the systems, or probably a couple of the systems. He says to me, Garfield, anyone who is initiated, you will never hear them say that they are Hebrews. You will never hear that. I've never checked it out. I've never tested it. But even when you go back to certain eras, you look at Dynasty Amir, when he goes back to Africa and do videos, the folks are denying that they are Hebrews. But the key thing that we need to do is this. There's an organization by the name of ISAAJ. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's an organization which Divine Prospect is a part of. All right? I'm sorry, ISSAJ. And what they do is they're the ones that supervise. They're called the International Society for the Study of African Jewry. All right, is a community of scholars and students engaged in the study of African Jewry, and it's diverse. So what they have done now, ladies and gentlemen, they have tracked everybody who is who claims to be a Jew, and what they have done is written down every oral tradition. This is the book that Jashub took the thing from. This book, it documents every single oral tradition that we need and how we understand it. So, for example, I'm gonna give a quick example to answer your question. The Safeway people in Ghana in 1973 or 76, the gentleman who was a Muslim woke up out of a dream and said, "Oh, I got a vision that I'm a Hebrew Israelite." So all of a sudden now in 1976, but what is going on in 1976? 1976, we have the fights over the Ethiopians and some Igbos trying to leave Africa, and the Ethiopians, and Operation Solomon was almost here. I think it was 1979. So people are moving back to Israel, and they're saying that they're bloodline. So that type of thing was already prevalent. So him coming out in 1973 or 76 saying, "Hey, I got a vision," why should we believe him? Jim Jones said he got a vision. Dr. York said he got a vision. So anybody could jump up and say they got a vision. But the truth of the matter is, though, with the oral tradition, the key is learn each and every one of the oral traditions, and what you will find, they practice Orthodox Judaism, which my brother on the line is against. Everybody is against that, and you won't find two important things to know what the truth is. Do they claim to be northern tribes? And another thing is the Hamitic hypothesis. So what role does the Hamitic hypothesis play, and what role does northern tribes play? They don't claim Judah. They're not claiming Benjamin. They only claim the northern tribes because that's what the Hamitic hypothesis push. It pushes that Africans are Hamites. Now, and for the record, I don't believe, even if I did believe in the narrative, I don't believe Africans are Hamites. I think there are certain sects like the Egyptians, the Libyans, the Nubians, and the Canaanites are people who we consider Hamites. They're descendants, but not South Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, East Africa. No, I think those particular people, according to the narrative, are Hamites, and I have to respect the narrative because I study it. So from that perspective, Africans are not Hamites. So for those who running around saying all Africans are Hamites, no, only the specific Egyptians. But again, the Hamitic hypothesis, to answer your question, once you study the Hamitic hypothesis, Study the story about the white tribes in Zimbabwe. Study Goldberg's work about blacks and the slave and the curse of Ham, and you will see the root of why all these tribes claim that. And to add on to that, not to be long-winded, some of those tribes that claim they're Hebrews originally claimed that they came from Mecca or Arabia.
Will all these things be in your book?
Yes.
With the sources?
Yes. Yes, I got a source right here. I got Traditional Religion right here. And I got Blacks and Jews in America, Africa and America by Tudor Porfit. I got, hold on, let me see what else I'm going to use for that. Hold on one second. Oh, if I could share something on the screen,
go ahead.
If you give me permission to do that, I could share something that I'm actually going to use in the book. All right. So basically, as a matter of fact, you know what? I don't even need to bring up the book. Do I need to bring up the book? Let me bring up the book. Yeah, basically, what this does, family. Now, listen, I'm going by what the sources say, and because I'm not a field researcher, I'm more of an autodidact. So at the end of the day, I can say Garfield says. There's nothing in my book I will ever say Garfield says. Everything has to be backed by somebody who is certified in the field, whether they are black, whether they are white, whether they are Indian, whether they claim to be a Hebrew Israelite. It doesn't matter. In fact, I have many sources with Hebrew Israelites in the book. In the book. But hold on, let me just show one thing here, just to make the audience more familiar with what I'm referring to. I don't know why I can't find this book in my list here. Hold on, let me just take one more look. But the bottom line is, once we study the Hamitic hypothesis, it does lead us in a direction where we can understand why the tribes claim that, and why. I'm not saying they're not supposed to claim it. I'm never gonna say that. They could claim whoever they want to be. Garfield in Jamaica right now, there's a set of people that says they are the real tribe of Judah. That's their tradition. I'm probably sure you're familiar with it. Who am I to say that they're wrong and that the people over here in One West is right? I don't know. I'm just saying anyone could claim it. It doesn't make it true. And it's also helpful to claim it. It's also helpful. These are the most successful people on as far as the planet in the last 2,000 years. 3,000 if you want to really look into it. And what are we gonna say? Oh, we're not gonna take their word for it because we're against the religion. No, it's not even about that. Hold on one second. Let me see if I find it right here.
Go ahead.
I want to go to this book.
Okay, while you're looking for that, I have a question. I don't want to interrupt you.
I have that book
too.
Yes, sir.
Is in your book?
Yes.
Chapter 8?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Okay.
Oh man, I can't find this.
You're looking for
looking for a particular thing in the book, just to drive the point home about the Hamitic hypothesis, what the scholars are saying. But what I want to
do this, if you don't mind me asking, why don't you do this? Because just pretend as though, because you've never been on this platform before, so you're used to talking to your audience and some of this audience. Let's pretend that you're talking to people that don't know who you are. Explain to the people what the Hamitic hypothesis is, because there might be people that's watching that don't know what you mean by that. So go ahead and explain it.
Yeah, the Hamitic hypothesis is basically that the folks in Africa, all the cultures who have built anything of great stature, for example, like Zimbabwe, in Mali, in Timbuktu, in Ghana, anything that's progressive in Africa, they always say that those people are attached to the tribe, to the Israelites, the Hamites. This is based on the fact that, of course, people call it the Hamitic myth, where Ham saw Noah naked and all that stuff. But we intend to call all Africans Hamites. So at the end of the day, most of the folks who are Hebrews, who are Israelites, they are white folks in general. They would say, hey, the reason why these people are so educated, are so smart, or anything, is because they are Hamites. They are connected to the ancient Near East. So then you find in the African traditions, We either come from Mecca because we were controlled by Arabs first, which is a form of Judaism, because Abraham, without the Old Testament, there's no Quran. You know, we got to be honest. Without the New Testament and Old Testament, there's no Quran. So that's a child of the Bible. So anyone out there that's listening, you just got to understand that the Hamites is anyone that has made any progress. So that type of Hamitic myth now is that, you know what, anything that was created or anybody who's from that era who has done anything progressive comes from the ancient Near East, i.e. Mecca, Arabia, or Israel. The Oriental hypothesis, aka the Hamitic hypothesis.
All right, so this is what we're going to do, right? This is what we're going to do. So you agreed to come on the channel and have a debate with Mikhail Ben Israel. I spoke to him today, so that's going to be set up. He said he's going out of town, so when he comes back, he said on Monday you guys are going to talk about that. So you guys let me know. You guys are welcome. I'll be unbiased. Y'all talk the whole nine, and then I guess you go to your platform, whatever the situation is. Now, as far as you and me, I know for a long time you've been calling me out, and I think the people want to see that too, right? My only stipulation is, and there's a reason why I have changed it over time. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to be pigeonholed just to the King James thing. I think it's unfair to me because it seems as though that's all I know. That's why I kind of am saying that I kind of want your book to come out, because I feel like there's other areas I'm going to disagree with you. So this is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to tell Sonny this too. Your book is supposed to be coming out March 1st. I'm asking for 1 month to review your book, and we can set something up right around Passover, because Passover is the beginning of April. You and I will sit down on whatever platform. It doesn't have to be mine or yours. And I will do a presentation on what I disagree with your book, and I'll do it in front of you and then give you an opportunity. We can sit down. So we can set that up for the spring. I think it'll be a beautiful thing going right into the spring. With that being said, I'm going to hand you the floor because you made a statement recently. I want to give you the floor. I don't know how much time you got. You said, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that I wouldn't tell you in front of you that you were wrong about the whole Gray thing with Douglas family. You said I wouldn't say that in front of you. I'm telling you to your face, you were wrong.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you the floor. Show me where.
I'm not going to touch on that.
Why not?
I'll save that for the debate.
Didn't you say that? If I wouldn't say it in your face, we're here now. What happened?
Nah, because all right. For example, all right. Let's say this. All right. You said gray face, and what you did was you basically showed a modern day gray face. All right. So what I did was basically what I did. I went to the dictionary, right? I went to what's called the Gaelic dictionary, which would be a dictionary to refer to how people talk about things back in that era. Now, when you look up gray face, you would see that it's referring to somebody who is pale skinned. Now, the terminology that somebody used in a Gaelic or Old English, and of course, you definitely got to admit this, we wouldn't have a proper understanding of what they mean, because sometimes people are writing with a poetic mind, and how they write things, you might not understand it. Now, I understand your motives. You want to say that the Douglas family, which you have the red Douglas and the black Douglas, and I gotta be honest, I didn't care a damn about none of this Douglas stuff before I watched your video. I heard about it. I heard about Black Douglas. I heard about all that stuff, but I was never interested in researching it or any way, shape, or form. So I must say, I watched your video and I studied it to a certain extent, because that's what to answer to you, I gave it. You came at me respectfully and said, Garfield, I already did presentations. Why don't you do this? Review my presentations and then respond to it. Now, one of the things with Black Douglas is you said that the author was lying. And the thing is, there's a Gaelic dictionary. Now, if I could find my Gaelic dictionary and show the people right now that gray face actually has something to do with pale, I would just dagger you right now. But I'm going to have to look for it. So what I'll say to you is this. When we have to sit down, I'm going to prove to you with the Gaelic Scottish dictionary, with the ancient people that deal with the ancient stuff of the writings of the whatever era it is in the Anglo-Saxon history, how they translate and everything. You'll see why I laughed when you said the gray. Garfield, look at this. This could mean gray. It's good. It sounds good. I like it. I like that. It's convincing to the people that support you. But to me, I laughed at it Because I'm like, if you're gonna make the claim about gray face, don't use a modern day interpretation. You have to use the methodology as far as trying to get into the mindset of the people back then. So I would get a Gaelic dictionary or Scottish dictionary that goes back to then. You had me get 6, 7 Scottish books, and I'm like, I'm stuck. This dude act like I didn't even respect his work. I respect your work. And that's why I went through all of that. Even with Zion, I might have a problem with Zion, but I had to go back and study Sumer. And that's how I found out he was wrong. With the same with you. The reason why I say you're wrong, because with King James and all of that, because you're throwing away too much primary sources to make a point. And I do understand.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I don't know one was teaching like the back of my head.
Can I say this? Because you and I both use the national biography in our presentations.
Yes.
And the national biography describes some of his sons as being black. How did that happen? And I showed that too.
Yes.
So how does that work? If he was pale and white, then why does the national biography describe his sons and his grandsons as being black? How does that work?
All right. What terminology did they use? Because that's
and I showed it in my presentation. Like you, my presentation is not up now. Yeah, I could try to bring it up.
You know what? No. Let's just do this. I will say to you, my brother, remember this. In the Scottish time, when they use the term black, we got to be very, very careful. Why they're using black? What was the original terminology they used for them to draw the conclusion that the person was black? It's just like I would draft up King James' daughter, King James' son, the one that you show with the black face, he's described as pale white. So if I'm saying that if his grandson is white, you thought he was black, great grandson, by the way, and he was white, then we have a problem. And then you might not follow DNA, but I accept the science of DNA.
So
and they were able to catch DNA through the male lineage of James, James II or Charles II, I'm sorry, through his lineage, which is the male lineage that goes back to King James. And what happened is the DNA goes back to the same history of the oral traditions of where the people come from. So when it tells me that he's related or connected to RM269 and say it's the Caucasus, I'm not dealing with color now. I'm dealing with his roots. So I'm saying that this dude is not rooted in Israel. He's not rooted in that region. So if he has the R marker, he has 2 places he could come from as a black man. If he's black, he could come from the northern Cameroon, or he could come from the Caucasus Mountains. And the genetic coding that he has, or the markers that he has, says he's from Europe, or from whatever. So I'm not dealing with the color part now. I'm just saying where he comes from.
I have no problem.
He could be a dark skinned guy. His family could be dark skinned. That's not the issue. The issue is where he comes from.
You froze. You just froze up a minute. You just froze up at the end.
Yeah. The issue is where he comes from. Literally where he comes from. And I have a problem with that. And let me can I ask a quick question?
Be in your book as well. No, I'm gonna let you talk. No. Okay. All right. No problem.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The King James stuff is not really something that academia, because I'm trying to get one of the first books ever to be peer reviewed in the conscious community, and I don't think the academia, whether they're white or black, looks at King James being black as a central thing. But I am going to address King James in there's a lot of bullet point claims that I'm going to address, and that's one of them.
All right. Go ahead. You were going to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask you what about the Bayeux Museum, when I brought up with how they drew themselves at war, the Anglo-Saxon people, how they drew their enemies, how they drew themselves. If these people were
Bayeux tapestry, I'm familiar with that.
All right, cool.
We'll address that when we sit on the side of this couch as well. So I'm familiar with the Bayeux tapestry. That's not new to me.
No, I never said it was new to you. I'm just saying.
So we'll address that at another time. What else do you have? What else? Issues. Let me see, because I see people are putting questions in the chat. So I kind of want to see if there's anybody that has.
Well, you do get my point though about the Gaelic dictionary and all that stuff.
That's fair. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We also have to just so you know, we're not going to get into it now. You made a claim. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to correct it at some point before I get to it. You said that Charles II when he did his reclamation project, those images that you showed in your presentation, you said that he commissioned those pictures.
Right.
What if I told you that that's not true?
All right.
He didn't commission those pictures at all.
Okay.
Himself.
All right.
I'll just leave that there.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where, like I said, it's one of those things where, like you said, I'll give you respect for this. You said that there's nobody that really could peer review your work on those particular subjects. They're not learned on that. So it's just gonna be me and you, because nobody else has really learned on this stuff. So I know where you make the mistakes at myself. So I'm just pointing certain things out to you. I'm waiting to see what's in your book so I can address. If you have nothing about King James in your book, then I won't address the King James thing. We can go.
Yeah, you probably won't.
I really don't care about that. Let's move on to something else, man. I want you to talk to me about the 1st, 2nd, 3rd century Jews, right? I just want your opinion. I don't really want to.
Or AD.
AD.
Okay.
AD, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
When we look at the museum in Damascus, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know you've seen it because I've shown it, and I'm sure you're familiar with it, right? From Der Europos.
Mm-hmm.
There's an image on the wall of Moses and Aaron leading the children of Israel out of Egypt, and it's black. Like, we're not gonna play games. It's black. If those Jews back then were white people, how do you explain stuff like that? What do you say? I know you guys call it lookership, but
okay,
we don't.
You do know. Okay,
sorry, I apologize. That's really not your words. I don't want to say that you said that. That's Ankh saying that. But we do lookership in Egypt and everywhere else. So when I look up at those relics that were left behind by the 1st century, 2nd and 3rd century Jews, as well as some images in the catacombs as well, they're black. We're not gonna play games with that. What do you say to stuff like that?
This is one of the problems that we're gonna have. There is a research out, right, of some people in Judea who had some cranium stuff that they claimed was pre-dynastic Egyptian, right? But there's also some studies in the Levant during the Maccabees period. It's how ironic. You're the Maccabees TV. But check this out though. They had some cranium studies done. And the cranium studies that was done saying that the folks who were Jews at that point were 60% European at that point. Now, I made a comment the other day when me, you, and Sonata was on the phone. And I said to you that the Judah that carried on after the Sennacherib was not the same Judah anymore. And it had to do with another exile that we don't hear Israelites talk about. It's an exile that took almost all the people out of Judah. And my whole thinking is, whenever the time came back for people to start living in that region again, whether it's under the Persians or under the Greeks, it wasn't the same traditional people as we are. They may have respected the God of the land, which the Assyrians always do and the Persians do, but I don't think it's the same ethnic population that was there before. So if you saying that the Jews who had the war with the gentleman at the Kittus War, do you believe that the Jews were eating people? Do you believe that was your people that were eating other humans and taking off their skin during war and wearing it like a clothes and then eating them? I don't believe that's my people. If I was
Egyptians did it at one point in the history.
I'm not worried about Egyptians. I'm talking about Israelites.
So
if I'm an Israelite, an Israelite, so you believe that your descendants were eating people, were eating other people during war, cannibal.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think it shows the nature of who the people were. I'm saying that no. If I'm defending you right now. I'm saying that's not you. That's not your people. That's the corrupted folks that came in who probably were Yahwehs that carried on a tradition that wasn't even theirs. It could be the Edomites, because remember the Edom people came in. It could have been the Moabites, the Ammonites. It could have been other people, because remember the Assyrians took people from one culture and brought them in and had them living in Israel under Tiglath-Pileser.
That's correct.
So I'm saying I don't think that those people are Israelites. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. As a matter of fact, I don't think they're Judeans or Jews, true Judeans. And so when you said that those people on that wall during in the Syrian town near the borders going northern Israel going up forward, that those people are black, brown, red, or yellow. I think that's just a part of a whole people. And a part of the whole is there was more European in that region than black at that time. Just like Egypt, just like Europe, just based on the cranium studies and based on what happened in history. I'm telling you, if you look at 2 Kings 18:13, let's look at 2 Kings 18:13. I don't know if you have your Bible right there, and I don't want to tell you to read because I don't have the authority over you. But my brother, would you read that small little scripture for us?
Sure, no problem. Let's give it. Okay. It says, now in the 14th year of King Hezekiah and Sennacherib, king of Assyria, come up against all the fenced cities of Judah and took them. That's 13.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, ask yourself, what does he mean by he took them? And people might say, what is Garfield talking about? He's talking about scriptures. The bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that the Hebrew Israelites don't talk about, which is crazy. I call it the lost tribes of Judah. And the reason is Sennacherib wrote that he took over 200,000. He destroyed 46 towns, 46 cities of Judah. He didn't take Jerusalem because eventually Hezekiah, whether you want to believe his version or the Assyrian version, he worked out a deal. He gave up his daughters eventually, and he gave money and gold or whatever to Sennacherib. And he apparently got some help from Egyptians or the Nubians or whoever was in charge during the 25th dynasty, Shabaka, Shabitko, whoever. And the point is, where did those 200,000 people go? Where did they go? The Bible doesn't elaborate on it, but in the primary documents of the Assyrians, they talk about how they took over 200,000 people out of Judah, not Jerusalem, Judah. So where did those people go? Where did they go? Go ahead, brother.
Well, what I want to say to you is, first of all, when you say that we don't teach that, we do teach that. Now, that's why I was saying earlier, I don't know how long that you've been on the live stream, but I already said that you have to use extra biblical sources because everything is not always written in the scriptures, like elucidated in the scriptures, like 100%. Sometimes you got to go to extra biblical sources to get the actual details of everything that happened. So I have no problem with that. You can't say that we don't teach that necessarily. But the main tribes that were overthrown was the Northern Kingdom, 100%. All right. But there were some of the Southern Kingdom that was overthrown as well. Absolutely, that's in the scriptures. I have no problem with that. And also, let me just put another caveat in. We never have taught, and I've been around almost 30 years. We never taught that the Assyrians took all of the Northern Kingdom into captivity. We always have known that there was a remnant of Israel that was left behind of the Northern Kingdom. We've always taught that. I don't know how much you really study what we've taught. We've always taught that.
All right, I'm not actually talking about the.
I'm just saying in general.
Right, the Northern Kingdom. Now, what I'm saying is the Judeans who lived in the region of Judea were taken. So if those people were taken by the Assyrians, and if you look in Esarhaddon in his writings also, there's actually a fourth exile that again people don't really talk about. That is actually in the Bible. So what I want to say is those 200,000 people, remember, when they took the quote-unquote so-called northern tribes, they documented that they took 13,000 to the Medes, which is where Persia is. They also took 27,000 to different areas, Habor, by the river, and so forth in the Assyrian Empire. No argument from Garfield. What I'm saying is at that time period, the population in Israel was possibly over 200,000 people.
That comes from Israel Finkelstein. And he said, wait, now, because I got this. That's part of my problem with you.
No. Hold on 1 second. That book you just pulled up. Did you read chapter 8 yet?
Yes. Those.
All right. So there's two
right now. Some people right now. Yes.
It's 300,000. Some people say it's around 200,000.
They don't agree. The scholars don't agree. There's no consensus.
No. Actually, there is.
You agree that there's no consensus?
Actually, there is a consensus in that.
What's the consensus?
They actually agree with the minimalist version of the storyline. They actually read that book by John Day.
I got it. I'm in the chapter right now.
You know what? Let me bring up the book. But keep talking. You pull up what you want to pull up, and I'm here. All right, but keep talking. Say what you're saying. I'm saying to you that with the 27,000 that they documented, and people giving estimates, you do know how people count population and people living, right? You do. It's a science. You know, you do understand the science of it, right?
I understand.
All right. Okay. All right. Let me go here so that we could talk about what it says. And the truth of the matter is what they realize with the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. The fact of the matter is what it also proves is that they knew exactly where they went. They knew exactly where they went. They know where they went and where they went. Simple as that. They knew exactly where they went. They were never lost. What I am saying is the true people, Israelites who are lost, in speaking from your point of view, is the Judeans who Sennacherib took. Those people, you would have to say they're lost, in a sense. But I wouldn't say the people in the northern tribes were lost. But anyway, continue.
No, I want you to get the page. You said you were going to pull the book up. So
okay, all right.
I want to so we can both be reading from the same page, so we can you and I can come to a consensus because I have the book. So
all right. That's going to take a minute though. But hold on, let me just.
All right. In the meantime, I'll see if there's anybody in the comments that has anything interesting that they want to say. Your man Jeremiah Judah is looking for you, Garfield.
Why are you looking for Garfield? Oh, he said something about E1, B1A, right?
You said you're running. You said you're running from him.
Everybody's running from Jeremiah Judah. I actually support the Zariak in running from Jeremiah Judah. Hold on a second here. Let me get to this bottom line here.
So people are asking, this is people are asking, you don't need to, you can look for the page while you ask. People are asking, do you celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas?
No, I don't celebrate. I don't celebrate any holy days or holidays from my Nation of Islam days. That's just always been embedded in me. I wasn't a Christmas guy when I was in Jamaica because my parents were they spoiled me. So I never really celebrated Christmas as a kid growing up anyway, even though when I was in a Christian household. But no, I wasn't really a holiday guy. But if I do choose to celebrate it, I don't think it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It's yourself with that, man.
No. Listen. Remember, we're under captivity. We're under enslavement for over 500 years. You don't think the people that grew up from this country are technically Americans? America celebrates Thanksgiving. Aren't you an American? Just because you follow a rule or a law don't make you not an American. You're an American. I'm an American citizen. So at the end of the day, this is where I am. If they celebrate Christmas, am I going to go to my job if I had a job and say, oh, I'm not taking off because it's Christmas? Am I going to say Thanksgiving, I'm not taking off because it's Thanksgiving? Or
no, you are telling them that you don't acknowledge it because it's some bullshit.
Well, personally, I don't. But I'm saying if I did, it is what it is. I don't think it's a big deal. People are making it out to a big deal.
Because of what it represents. It's a big deal.
Okay, but
let's stand on some principles, man.
I'll give you a quick example.
West African principles. Let's go, man.
Okay, in Jamaica they celebrate Thanksgiving and Black Friday, right?
That's wrong too.
It ain't got nothing to do with what it's for, though. It's a remix. It's a Puff Daddy remix. It ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? But hey, to each his own, man. Let me just keep looking for this right here.
Bro, you got to stand up for something, Garfield. Come on, man.
No. I'm saying that I don't personally. But if we're living in America, it's a part of the culture. Let me ask you a question. You are trying to follow Israelite culture in an American society. That's one of the hardest things you could ever do as a human being. So now I'm asking you, what is American culture? What is it? Because the American culture, folkways, mores, norms, traditions, customs, Halloween is a custom here. I'm not saying to follow it. Thanksgiving is also, Christmas is. Hey,
we burn fire on all that stuff. That's what I do.
We burn fire upon it. I agree, but I'm just saying I don't celebrate it. But at the end of the day, if somebody wants to, I'm not going to demonize them because it's a part of the American culture. It is, whether we want to accept it or not.
I ain't gonna press you on that. I'm gonna let you go with that. Let's see what else we got here. while you're looking for that, Jeremiah Judah, you don't have to answer it if you're still looking for something. Jeremiah Judah said for you to prove that the Maccabees were white people. I don't know, you know.
Well,
I never heard you say that.
No, I never said that, but there's a lot of European in the cranium study that was done. Just like how people use the cranium study in Lashish, the cranium studies that was done says that they were 60% European. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what the study said.
Can I ask you a question? This might seem like a novice question, but it's a question all the same. And I'm asking you because you're here, but this kind of goes for you, Dom and Rosquad, whatever. Like, I don't want to disturb you from finding what you're finding, but why does the conscious community rely so heavy on, I'm going to put my quotation marks, studies? In other words, they say that they study this and they say this is the finding, and y'all just kind of like quote the shit. How, like, they said they found some craniums, and they said the cranium, they did a measurement on the craniums, and the craniums came back, they're from Europe and stuff, and you guys just quote that. Like, how do you know, bro? Like, how do you know? Why do you guys realize? And I'm not anti-science. Don't even know. I already know what you're going to say. Oh, you guys hate science. No.
No, I'm not even going there. I think that's a very, this is your second dagger question that you have for the night.
Really?
This is a beautiful question. We as black folks in America, we don't trust white people. Let's just get it out. We don't trust them. And it's just the truth. Subconsciously, we hate white folks. Some people hate white folks outwardly and show it every day, call them devils, whatever. Some people keep it inside. So anything that the white man comes to us, we kind of standoffish about it. We're like, man, he's coming with something. So now, what are we going to accept at all? What are we going to accept in any way, shape, or form in anything that we do? So what I do is this. I look at the two sides, the opposing side, like the Teldan Steeler. Let me give an example. The Teldan Steeler and the Merneptah Steeler, they have three different arguments for the Merneptah Steeler, right? Yes. One said Israel, some people said Jezreel, and there's a third one in and Killebrew's book or whatever's book that I'm actually going to quote from. Just to tell people that there's different versions, different people believe whatever, right? That's for us who can't read the Medjugorje. We have to rely on people who could read it or who have expertise in the field. It's like someone reading Hebrew. You're gonna go to somebody who knows the language, who could read classical Hebrew. I'm going to Florida Friday, Saturday. My Paradigm crew.
Yeah, so, no doubt.
So the dude now who's been teaching for over 20 years in the universities in America, though that dude now could read classical Hebrew. How many people can we call up and say, hey man, we got this ancient classical Phoenician text that we want you to read and read it out like he's reading English? Not many people could do that that I know. I don't even know if I could count 5 right now. I don't know if Daniela could count 5, but a lot of people can't read the classical Hebrew. Now, with that being said, he's an expert in it. He has degrees in it. He is trained in it. So why wouldn't I accept what he's saying if he's trained in the field? It's the same when we have Finkelstein and you have Mehar. They wrote a book about Israel. So they agreed. Both of them agreed. Two white folks who we don't know, who are claimed to be Jews, say, hey, we're going to team up together and we're going to be more centrist. So now they decided to come out with a book. I don't know if you have that book. It's about Israel and archaeology. I think it came out 2007 or 2009.
Israel, the Bible on Earth? Yeah, I have that.
No, not the Bible on Earth. It's a book that Mehar, the guy who opposes Finkelstein, his chief rival. The two of them disagree on many things. So they decided to come together and write a book and be centrist, meaning that they're going to only write about the things they agree on, which I thought was great. So we have two people that agree. So what they did, family, is historic. Now, there's two white folks. I mean, if you don't like white folks and you think white folks are the devils, why should we accept anything any white folks says? Because archaeology is like the main thing to prove that they use to prove historical stuff in the Bible, historical things within the text, archaeology within the text, Joshua, Moses, different things with the Exodus. What they use is archaeology and anthropology and history. External evidence and internal evidence from the biblical text. There's 5 steps to research in history. So those things, when you now say why Garfield takes this and take it as it is, because this is the consensus in the field for one, and two, even if there's not a consensus, you give the both sides and let the person, like what I'm doing in my book, I'm giving both sides to certain arguments where there's no consensus. I said, this is this person's argument, this is this person's argument. And I think the community needs to hear both sides. You draw your own conclusion, which side you want to be on, but this is why this guy says this, and this is why this guy says that. Tell Dan Steele is another thing. George Athas, one of the biggest epigraphers, he don't believe it says House of David. And he's like the #1 epigrapher in the world. So I'm like, okay, what does the #1 epigrapher say? Oh, it means this, and it's reverend this, and this could be an epithet. And I'm like, okay, that's too much for me. So I got to give that side, and then I got to say, hey, the consensus is saying that Tildan says House of David, but you have this guy that says X, Y, and Z. Take it as it is. So whether we accept it or not, we intend to accept stuff what we believe. If we believe that the white man is the devil, and somebody came on and said, yo, the white man is the devil, we're going to jump on that side. If we are Israelite, and this proves that the Israelites, it makes the story more real, we're going to jump on that side. We have our own personal biases and prejudices, which is us all in human nature. But I accept, once the research is done, I'm going to the experts. That's who I'm going to quote from.
I understand. Let me tell you why I disagree with you slightly. Okay, when you're talking about something like the Teldan Stele or the Moabite stone or something like that, right? Somebody could take a picture of it. Like, for instance, let's talk about the Teldan Stele. Let's talk about the Moabite stone, right? It has the word Israel on there, and it's written in Medu-Neter, like the excuse me, I'm sorry, the Medu-Neter Stele. Sorry, the Medu-Neter Stele, right? It's written in Medu-Neter, right? You can get a Medu-Neter dictionary, and you can sit down and you can look at it, and you can try your best, if you study hard enough, to try to decipher what the Medu-Neter is saying, because you can actually see the image yourself. You can also get a facsimile of the Teldan Stele. You get a facsimile of the Moabite stone. You get a facsimile of the Medu-Neter Stele, and you can decipher it for yourself. When we start talking about craniology, as far as like a skull of something or whatever like that, you really don't have access to that. They really don't give you access to that. You really cannot measure that and check that for yourself. You're kind of handicapped and reliant on what they tell you the skull is saying. There's a difference between me looking at a picture or having a facsimile of a stone or artifact from ancient times, and we're talking about craniology. It's a complete difference. So I agree with you that I can get a facsimile of an ancient artifact and decipher it for myself, or I can, they can show me a picture and I can kind of look at it, because I can kind of do my own independent research on that. You can't do that with a cranium. You have to admit that you cannot do that with a cranium. So this goes a little bit further than just the white man being the devil and me saying I don't trust him. No. Okay. I'm gonna give you the floor back. You can give me a facsimile, and I can take that and I can do my own research on it and come to my own conclusion. I can't do that sometimes with a lot of these so-called, I'm going to call them so-called scientific studies. That's why. So there is a difference. I don't think that when it comes to this that we're arguing a white or black thing with this. We're just saying that we don't have access to that skull. We don't know how they came to that conclusion. They can just tell us that this is what it says. I have a problem with anything that I can't verify for myself. That's me. I have a problem with anything I can't test or verify for myself. You got the floor. Go ahead.
When was the last time you went to a doctor?
Recently.
All right. Have you ever done blood work? When was the last time you did blood work at your doctor?
Recently. I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
All right. So the blood work that's taken to a lab that you don't own, don't control, can't see, you actually believe the results because the expert who's the doctor could read the results for you and tell you, hey, Daniel, and looking at you and see the type of lifestyle you live, I say that you're a very healthy guy. Looking at you, you look bright, skin look good, everything. I'm saying you look very healthy. You're probably more than likely living a healthy life. You eat right. You don't eat the nasty meat. You don't eat pork. You don't eat all that nasty food, and you work out a lot. So at the end of the day, I could say, hey, you're a healthy guy. But your doctor, to confirm it, takes your blood work to check at your age certain things that might come out. You believe it. You believe, but you can't see, feel, or touch the results or even check it yourself. So why can't we apply what we do with our own selves to the people who are experts in the field, just like your personal doctor?
That was a good one. And you almost had me. That was a good one. And you almost had me. For a second, I was like, man, he's going in. But then I got to tell you something, right? When you're dealing with my blood work, right? The doctor don't really have a reason to lie to me. But when we start getting into history and archaeology and measuring craniums about who ancient people were, you have a group of people that's saying that they're the Jews, white people. They're saying that they're the Jews. They have a reason to lie about that. They have an agenda and a reason to lie about that. So I can't take something that's serious based on word of mouth, as opposed to me just checking my blood, my blood and see if I got this or I got that, if I'm healthy, whatever. Come on, bro. There's a difference. There's a difference.
Let me say this.
Go ahead.
There is a cranium study from Lashish that says that those people in Lashish were Africans. So do you trust that study? Because that's saying that the cranium, they were Africans and they were Negroid. So but it's still under the umbrella of science. I'm saying to you though, I'm not concerned about the white Jew. I'm not concerned about the black Jew, because personally speaking, I don't think them or you are connected to the people. I mean, as far as the Ashkenazi Jews, what the guy talked about the other night, I do feel they are more connected. Y'all might boo me and kick me out for saying this. I think they are more connected to the ancient Israelites than the people who are African Americans in America. That's based on the genetic information that science has provided to us. Whether we want to take it or leave it alone, that's up to you. If you don't want to accept it, that's fine. I am saying that me and you, I have a Jamaican background and my descendants come from Western Central Africa. I am not connected to that region over there in the ancient Near East. I don't want to be connected over there. If the laws that in the Bible is good, and my mom taught me well between the ages of 8 to 12, psychology says that when we're taught during those ages, if we're taught moral laws and the ways how to do right and wrong, it carries through with us to the rest of our lives. And that's what's been happening. I don't rob, I don't steal, I don't sell drugs, I don't run around and chase women, and I definitely don't chase men. Nobody could ever say Garfield is going out there trying to shoot and rob banks or do anything. I live by a strict law that my mom and dad taught me, who just happen to be Christians and who happen to just follow the Bible. So, hey, hooray for the Bible. So there's good things in the Bible that we could take out. But at the end of the day, though, the promise of an everlasting life, the promise that my belief is the only belief or the ultimate belief, is crazy. To me, it's just, I know I'm changing the whole subject, but it's just ludicrous to me, because anyone could jump up and read that book and say, yes, I am the guy. The Mormons made up their own book. You had Ben Israel came in the 1600s and said, oh, the Indians, they're Hebrew Israelites. I mean, it's ludicrous to me. It's ludicrous. A lot of these claims, you have people who have found bones of people living in this Americas for so long, and the people today are connected to those people, but those people are really Hebrew Israelites. We got to really think about what we're saying here and what we're teaching. So academia looks at all of this and laugh, but the problem is now, how are we going to improve on what we have? If you have a belief by faith, like Jeremiah Judah or a Michael Edwards, who says, shout out to Malik. He said, you're Cuban. Yes, my father actually is Cuban. Yes, you're correct. Shout out to Jeremiah Judah and Michael Edwards, who said their belief in this is by faith. When we have people said biblical prophecy, the brother just wrote it. What if the prophets were wrong? How do you address those things when the prophets are wrong?
What you gonna talk about? We're talking about Nabonidus and all that stuff. I want you to put that in your book first. Then we're gonna talk about
that is in my book.
We're not scared of that.
That is in my book.
We're not scared of that. Believe it or not.
Nabonidus and what you call it, and Daniel 5:30.
What about the stuff about the Passover being taken from other cultures and that were Canaanite cultures before Israel? That's in your book too?
Yeah, of course, definitely in my book.
All the good stuff. I love it. All right, so I don't know how much longer you got, so I don't want to, belabor the point. But let me just ask you another question. You let me know you got to go. And really, like I'm saying, we're just talking, so there's no.
This guy made a comment I thought is very interesting. Ask Garfield, when will he ever dispute the 12 tribe chart? Captain Katazar is waiting.
Good question. Good question.
It's coming. That's all I'm gonna say. The video is private, and I can't picture myself writing them an email based on our conversations. But what I will say though to this gentleman right here, that's very interesting. Very good question, Amanwana Banat Yasharala. I hope if I mispronounce your name, my apologies.
That's Magun's wife, your boy Magun.
Oh, Magun's wife. Oh, Empress. Garfield, you said people need to be careful what they teach, but you said in your book you're giving them different views. Isn't that confusion? Good point. Let's say, for example, Yahweh. We talk about Edom and Yahweh. Edom is the root. The consensus is now that it may have come from that region. The Midianite, Edomite region is where the Yahweh came from, right? And we teach that Edom is the white man. So if Edom is where the God came from, why is it that Israelites who are black and dark skinned are condemning or worshiping a God that the Edomites promoted? But it goes back to the whole thing about Edom is the white man, which of course I'm going to address in the book. Although it ain't got nothing to do with me, I'm going to address that. But there are things in the biblical text as far as lineage. There are things as far as Judah. There's things as far as the Exodus. There's things as far as that the regular folks who don't have the time to study need to see the information and see where it's at in archaeology. Yo, hey, we could prove that this happened. Yes, you can. I'm going to acknowledge archaeology prove things in the Bible. But I'm also going to show that archaeology also disagrees with what it says.
So let me ask you a question. Based on your understanding of the Bible, and for those that don't know, you've said many times that before you got into your area of studies now, you at one time were trying to be a pastor. So based on your research, your study and knowledge of the Bible, according to the Bible, what does the Bible say, or what time period does the Bible say the Exodus took place, according to your knowledge of the Bible?
Well, it's two different time periods, because we have a clock that said when the Exodus happened, it was 480 years before Solomon's temple was built. But we also have a marker in that Exodus was built or happened during the time of Ramesses, when the Ramesses time period around.
Can I get that? Can I get that? What does it say? You're supposed to know better. You of all people are supposed to know better than that. That's an anachronism. The Bible never said Ramses was the pharaoh. That's an anachronism. Come on, Garfield.
Okay, but
it says they built treasured cities of Ramses and Python. Even you yourself, whether I agree with you or not, say the Bible was written much later than that period. So you know damn well.
You're agreeing that the Bible was written much
I'm
later.
not saying that.
Oh, what are you saying there, beloved?
No, I'm going to tell you.
I'm thinking. I gotta take my ear.
No, I'm clear. I'm clear on the fact that there were scribal families in Israel always, right? And so the Bible was always, when the scribal families want to see in the Bible, was always modernized. First of all, the word Egypt is an anachronism. During the time when the Israelites were in Egypt, according to scriptures, they weren't calling Egypt Egypt. Egypt is a creation of the Greeks. That's a Greek word. So that's an anachronism in itself. Ur the Chaldees is an anachronism. So I'm clear on that. As time went on, certain words were added in based on the time period that the Bible was being written by the scribes. So I have no problem with anachronisms in the scriptures. So I'm not saying or agreeing with you that the Bible was constructed during the time of the Persians. during the time of the Persians. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying to you is when you see words like Ramses and Python and Egypt and Ur the Chaldees and other things in the Bible, those are anachronisms. Even when you get into the certain monetary units that it says were during the time of David, those are also anachronisms. Okay, I understand these things. So that's what I'm saying to you. So I'm asking you, when you're going to make an argument about the Exodus, are you therefore saying that the Bible is saying in Exodus 1 that Ramses was the pharaoh? Is that what you're saying? Because it never really says that. It speaks about cities that were built.
Yeah, the issue with the cities is anachronisms. There's a lot of anachronisms with the cities, like Python. Those cities weren't built before the 7th century BC. So when you're dating the writing, we got to use everything. We got to use archaeology, anthropology, everything. So what I'm trying to get at with the brother is, are we saying that Moses had something to do with actual writing of the text as far as the laws? Because if Moses was to live, we would assume, based on the modern day dating system that we have, we would say that Moses was around 1500 BC, between 1500 1450 BC, around that time period. We would say that, or even 1500 to the 16th century BC. What we are saying is that if Moses had anything to do with the writing, there would have to actually be a script that the person would be writing in. He couldn't write Medianetta, because if he wrote in Medianetta, there's not enough bricks for him to carry down from the mountain if it was written in Medianetta, because it would be too many bricks. So I'm saying he couldn't have wrote in Hebrew because there was no writing in Hebrew at that time period. So I'm saying that we know, and I hope me and you can actually agree on this today, that there's no way Moses could have wrote the Bible in Hebrew at that time. There's no way, because we don't have any writings at all in Hebrew. Because remember, writing that we have, I'm not talking about language. There's a difference between writing and language. We're talking about a text. There's no writing before the Egyptians. The Egyptians, the Sumerians were writing. And hint at Zion Lex. If the Hebrews were Sumerians, why didn't they use the Sumerian text to develop the Hebrew text?
I don't think he's ever said the Hebrews were Sumerians. I don't think he said that. I think that's he said that Sumerians were Hebrews.
He's teaching that first of all, he's saying that the Sumerians, that Abraham was a Sumerian. That's what he's trying to say.
Well, he dwelt among them. I know he teaches that, but I've never heard him say this, that Abraham was an actual Sumerian. I could be wrong, but I've never heard him say that.
Okay, all right. So let me say this, by the way, too, for everybody that's listening. There is no Hebrew writing during the time of when Moses allegedly. I'm not going to say Moses never existed. We just don't have any evidence of that man at this time. Maybe Daniela could enlighten me that on another later date. But I'm just saying, I am saying that there's no Hebrew writings at that time period. So you can't have a text if there's no writing of the text. So I'm just saying, if we can agree on that, then I could say, okay, we do like Mazar and Finkelstein. We're meeting in the middle. Because if I understand the text, bro, I understand the rules, I understand the laws, and all these laws are in all the cultures of the ancient Near East, but primarily they're in the Greek culture. That's just the truth. We can't deny that. A lot of these things about homosexuality, there's some Greeks that was into it, and there's some Greeks that wasn't. And by the way, Genesis 49ers, peace and love to you. Petrovich has been ran out the community with that foolishness.
What foolishness? I didn't see what he posted. What did he say?
Petrovich has evidence Hebrew writing and Moses. No, he does not.
So y'all need to have a conversation about that.
Yeah, that's why I went in on Divine Prospect when he went on the thing and talked about it's definite when it wasn't a published article. And he knew that if he said that Moses, they found a writing with Moses, that would appeal to the emotions of Hebrew Israelites. And then now all of a sudden everybody's on the internet and Facebook saying, yeah, they found Moses in proto-Sinaitic writings in the Sinai. It's not true. It is not true. Go to the experts and read what they're saying and why that guy never actually published that, because it never made sense. He got beat up in the academic community. Now, again, let me go back to the Hebrew conversation again. If at the time of the Exodus, Moses could not have written down anything in Hebrew. If he was going to write anything down, it would have more than likely been in Egyptian or Medjugorje, because that's where he grew up in. That's the world that he lived in. I am just saying we can't have a text if there's no writing at all at that time period. Without the Egyptians, you wouldn't have a Bible. And let me go as far as saying that, because the Egyptians are the one that developed the alphabet that we write. They're the ones that, not the alphabet, the writing. It's the Egyptians in it. Hold up, let me show it on the screen right now. I have that right on deck, right here. If it wasn't for Egypt, you would not have a biblical text. I'm not talking about the language. I'm not talking about language. I'm talking
about the script. Are you talking about the script or the script?
Script. That's all I'm talking about. Script. Nothing else. I don't want nobody to misunderstand what I'm saying and come back later. Oh, Garfield pseudo. He said da 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 da. No. All I'm saying is you won't have. And let me can I share my screen?
Yeah, you should be able to. I'm not stopping you.
Hold on a second. Let me just share my screen real quick. How do I share? Okay, share screen. All right, let's share screen. All right, so here we go. All right, this is from Arlie Goldwasser, How the Alphabet Was Born from Hieroglyphics. It's right here. We're also confident about the time of the invention because there are some very specific connections between the Middle Kingdom Egyptian hieroglyphs in the Sinai and the new script. So you see, this is where it goes from one step to another step, and you could go even further, and you could see it from the hieroglyphics to the Proto-Sinaitic, to the Phoenician and the Paleo-Hebrew, to the early Greek, to the Greek, to the Latin, to the modern Hebrew. And for those who out there saying that Hebrew is Greek, no, it's not. I'm just going to break your heart right now. For those in the conscious community saying it because they read this guy's Yahuda book or whatever his name is, no. There are scripts that come from each family. Like the early Greek comes from the Phoenician and the Paleo-Hebrew. They're family. They're related. Hieroglyphs is related to the Latin. You know better than anybody how English came into being. So everything goes back as far as the writing to the hieroglyphics. That's where it comes from. We can't get away from that. So if there was no hieroglyphics, ladies and gentlemen, you wouldn't have a script to write your Bible in the Hebrew. Point. Anybody want to disagree? Disagree. But it's facts. Hieroglyphics to Proto-Sinaitic, and what brother Jashub, aka part of the J Square crew, what he's saying is that in the Proto-Sinaitic, which is the second one, the gentleman said that they found the word Moses and so forth. It's not true. We could talk about it another time. All right. Phoenician and Paleo-Hebrew, there it is. Nobody's denying that. It comes from the hieroglyphics. That's where it comes from. Then from there, you have early Greek. I'm talking about writing, not language. Writing. This is key. Writing. All right. Let me get off of this. Let me stop sharing.
Okay. All right. So that's a hold on a second. Let me just. So yeah, that's a conversation that we can have at another time. The only reason why I'm saying that is because you kind of showed the picture, the image, and I'm reading the comments. Just being fair, I'm reading the comments, and people are saying you're just talking, you're not proving. And I've never actually seen that source myself, so I would like to research that source myself. You can email it to me. You got my email now.
Arlie Goldwasser. Actually, Shaka actually brought this out in the debate with Zion. But how the alphabet was born? Are you subscribed to Bible Archaeology Society?
Yeah.
All right. So just look up the article how the alphabet was born from hieroglyphs. And if this is true, and that you will find out it's true, the fact remains that you wouldn't have a biblical text without the same Egyptians y'all talk bad about.
Okay. All right. I don't want to keep you because I know you got your family, your son, everything like that. I don't want to keep you.
Actually, I am free because there's no family here. I told you I don't celebrate this. I don't celebrate this stuff.
Oh, so you let your kids go celebrate it?
No. They went to no. Well, my son is the only one that actually has my child that lives with me, my smallest son. But
right.
Yeah, he went to go visit his family and so forth. He took a trip. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He took a trip. All
right. Hey, I don't know if you're interested in talking with Jashub. I don't know if Jashub wants to come on. I'll let him come on if he wants to come on. I've never actually read the resource that you have. So one thing I don't do, I don't like to argue about stuff I've never researched. Now
that is an academic way, though.
Huh?
That's the proper methodology.
Yeah, I don't.
When I say you don't follow methodology, I'm lying, because that's methodology. You don't address something you don't know what is going on until you review yourself.
I want to review what he said, and then I could, like, for instance, like you said, you know what I'm saying, you had the book. I had this book, so me and you can argue about this book and what's in it, right? But if I don't have a book, I'm not gonna argue with you about what's in the book until I get it. That's kind of part of that's. I'm not gonna lie to you. Be 100% transparent. That's part of why I want your book to come out, because you probably have resources and books in there that I don't have. And so before I argue with you, I know you want to sit down first. Before I argue with you about something that I didn't read first, I'd rather read and see why you came to the conclusion that you came to based on what you read, and then go from there. That's just how I operate. You know what I'm saying? A lot of folks in the conscious community don't operate like that, but that's.
Do you have, there's this book right here. Do you have this book? Let me show it on the screen. Tell me you have this book. Because you'd be a much smarter Hebrew Israelite.
Yeah. Well, I want to be that. So let me see what you got. Hold on, let me put it up on the screen. Hold on. All right.
Yeah, I got it. I got it right here. Hold on. Let me just bring it up from here. I got to bring it up from my ebook. All right. This book here is Israelite Religions by Richard S. Hess.
No, I don't have that. I don't currently have that. No.
All right. Now, I'm going to say this to Yashub. I'm going to say this to everybody who doesn't like Garfield. All right? I'm going to say this to y'all. This book is the most important book you could read outside of your Bible. This book, I'm going to repeat it, is the most important book you could read outside of your biblical text. This book goes into what it goes into. Let me just turn and just have you guys look at the table of contents and everything. He does what you just talked about as far as perspectives and different ways and a methodology, right? We just talked about methodology. He goes into this and starts off with religion, define it, Israelite, all that stuff, the outline of the book. So his approaches to the study of religion, he gives you what he does. But the most important thing is he talks about the traditions within the book and where they were practiced before and how he came to the conclusion, looking at all sides. So when you study an Israelite religion, you have to study Passover. You have to study the documentary hypothesis. You have to study Yom Kippur. Why do you celebrate Yom Kippur? You gotta understand why you celebrate these things. You gotta understand why you follow the calendar that you follow. All those things are important in your belief. So when we say it's funny, you said something earlier about the white man and whatever, but majority of the stuff that Israelites follow, I personally feel is from white folks. It might shock everybody, but I think it's from white folks. There's no infiltration of the my brother Divine Prospect follows, say he's trying to get people back to the pre-exilic Israelite following, right? I've never questioned him about it. I don't know if he means prior to Babylonian exile or prior to the Assyrian exile. Now, the Yahwistic religion or the Yahwistic culture or following Yahweh, I will ask Daniela this. Do you have evidence that Yahweh before the Assyrian exile in Judah? So we're talking before 723 or 730 BC. Have you ever come across in your studies, because you read a lot, you did your book show, I watched all of them, you showed off all them books. Oh, if you're talking about I don't read, what are you talking about? I don't read. I want to know, do you have any evidence in all your studies that Yahweh, or I don't know if you call him Yahuwah or Yahweh, whatever. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or funny, because you know different sects or different groups of one West, and this one say Yahweh or Yahuwah, and I got the right pronunciation. So I'm saying, whatever you believe as far as Yah is concerned, do you have evidence that this Yah that you worship was followed in Judah prior to the Assyrian exile?
I'll answer that and say I don't know, and I'll tell you why. Because you're asking me for extra biblical sources, and that's a particular area of study where you're saying look for the name Yah or Yahweh or Yahweh in Judah. I never looked for that. I never particularly studied that. So I'll say I don't know if it's in any of the books. I have over 500 plus books here. So I won't say that I know that I don't have it or I do have it. I won't say I know. I never looked into it, but I'll look into it now.
All right. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm not gonna say this or that. You see, again, this is why I don't mind talking to this dude out of anybody else. I always tell people, and I'm gonna say it in front of your face, and I say it behind your back. If there was a group I would join, it would be your group, because you know when you have a rapper in the hood that you know, and the rapper gains success and crossover, and all of a sudden he's on Hot 97 and Power 105, and he's playing on the white stations, and he's all over on the record label, and we say, oh, he crossed over. I don't think you have crossed over to a mainstream in the fact that you keep to what you know. And I think that your group, and you said it the best, you said, Garfield, if I say right now I want to be a Hebrew Israelite, you wouldn't accept me in until you actually do some research. You're not going to say, hey, yo, Ak, I want to be a part of the Lines of Israel, man. All right, man, meet up next week. You don't do that. You research the people before you let them in. It's the same thing with my 100 Man and Woman team. I could show y'all hundreds of emails, but these people they have their own motives. I'm not into everybody. All right. Okay, he said, when is Garfield going to answer some questions? I don't know if you guys have questions, Daniela would tell me. So why don't you guys?
I'll have him look at the chat. If you guys have particular questions for him, he said he has time. I know a lot of y'all been. He actually just to be fair, he actually reached out to me last week and told me he wanted to come on a hot seat. I'm not going to say this is the hot seat show, but he's here. So, to be fair, if you brothers and sisters have questions, right, put it in the chat. I'm gonna try to look, and I'm gonna see. And I'll try to ask. Let's see.
Can I respond to Genesis 49ers? He said, culture comes from white folks when Finkelstein stated himself, Judah and Israel had scribal activity back in the 8th century BC and memories preserved from the 10th century BC. I don't disagree with that statement. Now, as far as white folks, remember, there's ritual things that you do within your culture that had nothing to do with the pre-exilic Israelites. This is what Divine Prospect has been trying to teach for 5 years. So when we identify the things that they were doing in northern Israel as Israelites, then we can identify what the real culture is. Was it when Yahweh and Asherah? The Bible speaks against Yahweh and Asherah. I don't know why. Maybe it was something that they did, and the writers later on changed their mind. They're not messing with that. You know, so I don't disagree with that, Yashub. So put it on the record. Garfield agrees with Yashub.
All
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Jeremiah Judah asked, ask him. That should disappear. Oh, okay. Ask him what he believes in. Why is his spiritual system better than the Bible? So why would you believe in? I know you believe in West African traditions. I think you identify that you're like an Akan, so you can clear it up if I'm wrong.
I don't identify with any system per se that man has created. I believe every system was created by man. I'm studying the Akan. I'm taking my time, and actually I'm going to actually go back there, because a lot of people believe in the Akan and claim the Akan, and they do all type of craziness. And then when you actually talk to the people who are the initiates, they said, "Oh, they do that? We don't do that over here." So once I get back home, I'll be able to either get initiated or get fully initiated. But I'm not doing that to say I follow the religion or follow the system. I already said that between the ages of 8 and 12, my mom and dad taught me very well as far as discipline, as far as right and wrong. I don't need a guide for that. I know if I see Daniel park his car and I jump in and I say, okay, boom, I'm gonna go in his car and drive it off. That is wrong. I know that is wrong. I don't need a book for that. I'm good. But I will say this though. I will say this. As far as the Western world is concerned, I wouldn't, if I'm gonna follow a deity, it definitely would be an African deity. It would be somewhere from my culture. I'll leave it at that. And I'm open to that. I'm actually been getting a lot of advice and pastorship, for lack of a better term, as far as that is concerned. So there's a lot of people in my ears who's a part of that culture who's helping me to understand. So,
H. Judah, you probably see it. H. Judah asked the Sumerian hieroglyphs of 3500 BCE and the Egyptian hieroglyphs of 3200 BCE, which is older. He didn't provide a source as to where he got those numbers from, but I'm sure you've heard it. So
yeah, I think the 3500 is what Zion Lex uses. But let's take a look for a second here. Let me share my screen again, because I do have that presentation up, and I want to say that that's a very good question, and I hope I'm able to answer it. All right. What happened for the people that don't know anything about the Sumerian writings and all that stuff? What happened is there's different theories about the writing. But what has come to the forefront is this. This is from a book called Visible Language. This is where the consensus, Emily Tita, who I interviewed, and Christopher, what's his name, who's a black guy who I didn't even know until she told me. This is the thing. The date traditionally given for the invention of writing in Mesopotamia is 3200 BC. But this is more or less conventional. A precise date for the earliest cuneiform text has proved elusive, as virtually all the tablets were discovered in secondary archaeological contexts, specifically in rubbish heaps that defy accurate stratigraphic analysis. So now, when you tell me a date, the people who did the dates say there's no date. So when you say 3500 or 3200 or whatever, you can't prove it because they can't prove it. So how you gonna prove it? You're gonna have to show me how you got that date. So now when I move down now to the hieroglyphs, you're talking about what they're saying about hieroglyphs and how it came to be. Okay, let's look. It said rock drawings constitute the earliest of the precursors to writing in Egypt. Pre means before. So they said before writing itself, you had pre-writing, or what we call proto-writing. Drawings date from the earliest habitation of the Nile Valley to the Islamic period, but the most salient, what does salient mean, family? The most convincing early examples date to the Nakada 1 period, which is from 3750 to 3500. So they give you 250 years. So it could be 3750, which beats out the 3500 if you want to be technical. So we have the scholars who are saying this in the same book. This is the same book, by the way, Visible Language. And everybody, if you want it, you could email me at daggersquad1@gmail.com. I'll give you guys a book for free. And if you look at this right here, this is not a writing per se, but the people, they were doing their things as far as communicating and drawing. And this is 3800 BC. Look at this. This is proto writing. So this is way before Sumer. All right. I hope I'm able to answer your question to the best of my ability. All right.
I want to ask a question before anybody else goes. Let's turn the stove up just a little bit. You use this word a lot, and I'm going to tell you honestly, I got a problem with it. The C word, consensus.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
hold on, 1 second. Give me 10 seconds.
Okay. All right, brothers and sisters, if y'all in the building and y'all getting some from this or not getting some from this, whatever you do, I just ask brothers and sisters to hit the like button. Hit the like button, hit the share button. We're here, right? You know, it's a so-called pagan holiday tomorrow. We're here. And we're talking. A lot of y'all wanted to see me and the brother have a conversation. We're having a conversation. We're not really having a debate right now, so we're just asking them questions, right? We're not turning up too much. You know, that time is gonna come when, you know, when we get together on Sunday, this channel, whatever, we're gonna turn the fire up. You're gonna turn it up on me. I'm gonna turn it up on him. But hit the like button, family. In the meantime, I wanted to ask you about that C word, the word consensus. Now, you know I have a problem with that word. Do you understand why I have a problem with that word? And do you understand why I don't subscribe to consensus scholarship? Do you understand why?
It's hard to say yes to that, but I understand what you're saying. I understand in a sense. I'm not going to say 100%. And the reason why I said that is because you said it to me. You said, Garfield, because the consensus used to say that the Egyptians were white people. And that changed. But that's what science does. Science is about upgrading the information with whatever evidence you find. At one point, of course, they would think that they're white people, because you had L.A. Waddell, who's a racist, who said that the Sumerians are these white people came over and came through Sumer or whatever and came into Egypt and gave them civilization. You had Petrie at one point, who was who was funded by Darwin's family at one point, and they were racist. And he said that it was white people too. So you had the dynastic race theory, which Zion Lex put in his book. But what Zion refused to do is to show that Petrie changed his mind when he saw that the same cranium stuff you're talking about, he checked them out himself and was corrected by Morgan. And this was around 1903. So this dynastic race theory continued with people like L.A. Waddell. Then you had the University of College of London. Yeah, I checked out a little bit. The University of College of London, which David Roll now. This is why when the Hebrews jumped on David Roll, I was like, whoa, why we take this guy come from the same university that had the racist people like not L.A. Waddell, who supported Petrie with his racism at the time, who supported, now David Roll is trying to bring up the mantle again that the Egyptians were white. And why are we taking information from people who are misleading us? So again, yes, because racism at one point ruled science. It was about race. We never invented race. There's no time in the Hebrew Bible that you could show and pinpoint to me over 40 different examples of race. People are saying race. It's about black. Of course, you see the word black, but which is racha, which has a whole different meaning to it. But I'm just saying, with your situation, we know about racism, bro. And I can't deny that. I agree with you with that part. But it goes back to what I said about the blood test. We don't say the people that gives us do our blood test is racist. We never say that. We never say that they're gonna do something with our blood. But when it comes to DNA testing, I don't know what they're gonna do with it. We can't win.
I have a question from brother from AOC camp, right? Brother Malak. He asked a question. He says, and I know you're familiar, so I know you study. So there's certain questions I don't ask you if you know, because I know you know this stuff. He asked the question. He says the name Yahweh was found in Egypt in the land of the Shasu of Yahweh. And he's asking, does that predate the name Yahweh found in Midian? I'm assuming that you know about those things. Or
Shasu of Yahweh, yes, it predates it, but the Shasu of Yahweh are the Edomites.
the Shasu of Yahweh are the Edomites, and you have a source to prove that. Now or later?
We could go to Bible Archaeology. No, I can't use BibleArchaeology.com. But if we go to the same website that I talked to you about, Bible Archaeology, the BAS library, they have an article on the Shasu of Yahweh, and the Shasu of Yahweh is are connected to the Edomites.
All right.
Because remember, it's 6 Shasu, it's 6 of them. Remember, when you read the inscription, it's 6 of them. So the Shasu of such and such, Yabur, the Shasu. So great question. Great question. Now, how would the name originate in Midian? I'm not saying it originated in Midian. I'm saying that the Shasu of Yahweh were Edom. They were in Edom. They were in that Arabic region. Hey, don't take it up with me. Take it up with the scholarship. But it's something that we could reconvene. It's not off the tip of my. It's not something that I have off the top of my head like that. But from what I've read, the Shasu of Yahweh were referring to the people of Edom. As a matter of fact, you know what? That book that I sent you, Burling, it actually has it in there. Hold on one second. Let me bring this up, because that's very important. And I want to. Me and Malat don't talk every day, so I think I owe him to give him that respect to actually answer his question. So let me give you an answer, my brother, to the best of my ability. All right. Let me see if I can find this real quickly here. All right. In the meantime, you could read another question. I could multitask.
Oh snap! I done beat you. Mika done donated. She didn't even donate to you. Thank you, Mika.
Oh man, poor Mika.
No, ain't no poor Mika. What you talking about? She's still leaning Hebrew, not heavy, but still she's leaning in the right direction. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. So let's see. The questions are all now related to the Shasu. Like everybody's asking you about the Shasu thing.
All right, let me read something from that.
Thank you for the donation as well. Go ahead.
All right. We return to those nomadic people known as Shasu. Egyptian.
You're not sharing. Do you have something you can share?
All right. That means I'm gonna have to bring up the book. I don't want to really bring up the book right now.
All right. Go ahead.
Let's read this. You know what? Man. All right, cool. This is just from my notes. We return to those nomadic peoples known as Shasu. Egyptian records place them in the region of Edom, including Seir, the mountainous region of Edom, and the Negev. Those same Egyptian records also portray them as undesirables, robbers, and brigands. Sometimes the Egyptians allowed the Shasu into their delta regions to water their cattle. Other times we read of conflicts with the Shasu throughout Canaan, and even at one point of being spies for the Hittite enemy of Egypt. But the most important point about the Shasu lies in their worship. A papyrus list from the time of Ramesses II. Hold on a second. I got cut off. I don't know why I got cut off. Yeah, I got cut off. All right, let me finish reading what I'm reading. All right. But the most important point about the Shasu lies in their worship. A papyrus list from the time of Ramesses II mentions the land of the Shasu of Yahweh, a clear reference to the name of the Israelite God Yahweh. The reference for that is Redford, 1992, page 273. This is our earliest evidence of the worship of Yahweh, and it's important to note that it is established outside of Canaan. All right. So in the book, yeah, so pretty much what that just said, it's basically telling us that Yahweh was found outside of Canaan, all right, which we would call Israel today, all right, if from a biblical perspective. But it was found, those people who were worshiping Yahweh came from Edom. That's the point that I'm trying to make. All right. Another important thing to look at is William Dever's book called Did God Have a Wife? He has the location for the Kuntalit Ardrud. The Kuntalit Ardrud talks about Yahweh and Asherah. Yahweh's links to Teman also appear at Kuntalit Arjud in North Sinai. A 9th century BC inscription found there further emphasizes Yahweh's southern character. It reads, I bless you by Yahweh of Teman and by his Asherah. Again, I bless you by Yahweh of Teman and by his Asherah. Goes back again, it's confirming what Habakkuk 3 says. God came from Teman, and I think that God that's used there is actually Yahweh. So it makes sense because archaeology proved it. All right. Again, the book is called The Old Testament in Archaeology and History by Jenny Ebeling, Edward Wright, and Mark Elliott. That's the book that I sent to you the other day, Daniel. Right.
All right. Dwayne Yosef, I appreciate you. Thank you. That's all I can say with that. A lot of the questions are still coming back, it's mainly from the same people. Most people are not asking questions. So Genesis 49 is asked, ancient Samaria considered the human race to be black per Annette Pritchard. So why is there an issue with black people that claim Israelite lineage when Negroes proliferated that area in antiquity?
First of all, if we understand even genetics tell us that. The first American was dark skinned. The first such and such was dark skinned. But then you have the skin map, which plays a role in a lot of things. But let me just say this, I don't really disagree 100% with what he said. Well, hold on a second. Ancient Samaria considered the human race to be, it means Samaria, he's put Samaria. Okay. So why is there an issue with black people? I don't, listen, family. If you want to claim that the ancient Israelites were black people, you have all right to. I'm saying that they could be any color. I'm not saying that they were black people. It sounds good as a rallying cry. My brother Malak is not dark skinned like my brother Daniela, but Israelites could look like him. So they could be light as him. They could be dark as Daniela. They could be in between. They could have a little caramel, something like what Garfield have. It doesn't matter. We get too caught up with color, man. That's how race has played a major role with how we look at things. Because evil come in all type of shades now, family. It comes in all type of shades. We need to get out of that utopia mindset. We need to get out of it, that everything black is right and black this, black that. And by the way, they came from us. They came from us. Let's not forget that 99.9% of white folks are genetically the same as black people. 99.9%. We are the same. How we live in the world is two different things, because in Jamaica they bleach their skin because we feel if you're lighter you get better opportunities. Mindset, slavery plays a role, race. But hey, I'm not disputing if people are dark skin or what, but I'm saying they could come in all type of shades. In Egypt, they painted them on the wall, the Semites, and they came in all types of shades.
Let me ask you a question. This may not be your area of expertise, so if it's not, then don't answer it. But you mentioned the skin map, which I'm familiar with. Mm-hmm. You subscribe to the skin map, and if so, why do you subscribe to the skin map, considering that when you do research, and I know you've come across this, the first inhabitants of the British Isles were dark. The skin map doesn't show that. So talk about the skin map and why do you subscribe to the skin map? And yeah, just
the first inhabitants who are dark skin, remember, they're coming from somewhere. So it don't necessarily mean that the people that were there were dark skin originally, which I doubt. I don't think that's what you're saying. I don't know why I keep getting muted, but my mic keep I'm not
doing nothing.
Not you. I know this is that's what do you call it? That's the system that you use in StreamYard. All right. What I'll say is this: anybody could be dark skinned and anybody could be light skinned. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, fair enough. So, family, if y'all have any other questions for Garfield, ask now. He's gonna be back because he's gonna be having a debate right here on this channel with Mikael Ben Israel. He's gonna have a debate, amongst other things. And to be fair, although I think my audience has been way nicer to you. The audience was to me when I just come in the comments. Jesus Christ, when I come in your comments, and your moderator, this dude Sean, he be letting them he be talking shit too. And other sis, what's it named, Kayla? They all be talking, they be just cursing me out. I think my even my moderators have been pretty nice to you. Nevertheless, you came over
because I'm not saying nothing that they could basically say, hey, I'm 100% wrong. But I want to ask you a question before we go. I want to ask this question. Do you believe that you descend there? Are you a bloodline Israelite or are you a faith-based Israelite?
That's a good question. And I respect that question. And this is how I'm going to answer it, right? For me to say that I'm a bloodline Israelite would be like, for instance, right? Let's say that I had a child that I wasn't sure if it was mine or not. And I went and got a DNA test, right? The DNA test is going to tell me whether that child is mine or not. Like by a bloodline, it's going to do that. Because I'm alive, my son is alive, and let's say even if a grandchild, DNA tests now, they can even do tests on grandparents, they can do tests on siblings, they can do all that. Person is alive, you have the DNA, you can test their DNA versus the person that you're trying to. So in that particular case, they can do that. There is nobody from ancient Israel that they can go and test my DNA versus them. They just don't have that. So for me to say that I'm a bloodline Israelite, they can test my blood against somebody from the 1st century or even BC times. They can't do that because they don't have those relics, those bodies. They don't have that. Those skeletons, but they don't have that. So no, absolutely is based on faith, 100% based on prophecy. Absolutely. So I'm going to say yes. I'm based on that's absolutely based on faith, 100%. But when I'm also go ahead, say what you're going to say.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. My bad. I put you.
What I'm also going to say is that where we come from in West Africa, I'm going to say to you, based on oral traditions and also based on a lot of histories, which I know you reject, I know Shaka rejects and others rejects. There are a lot of people in Western Africa that claim that they are Israelites as well. A lot of people. We can have that discussion at another time. You already touched on a little bit today that they're not really bloodline Israelites, but they do claim to be bloodline Israelites based on oral traditions and other things as well. You also have used litmus tests such as you can find Aki in West Africa and you can find Aki in Jamaica, and you say, well, that proves I'm West African. Well, I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're using as a litmus test. So I'm going to tell you that also you can find certain traditions amongst the West Africans that relate to the Bible that show that we're the Israelites as well. I'm going to use the same methodology you use with the Aki. Same thing. So based on those things, I'm going to give you the floor right now. I promise. I'm going to give you the floor right now. So based on those things, absolutely, I believe I'm an Israelite based on those things. But if you're talking about bloodline, as far as tracing my blood to somebody from the 1st century or before, you don't have the skeletons to do that. But go ahead.
All right. Actually, I was going to bring something up, but I'll save it for when we do another. Yeah, I'm chipped out. Yeah, I got chipped out again.
I can't hear you. All right, go ahead. You go ahead.
All right. Let me say this to Daniela. Remember when I asked you one day, I said, why is it that the tribes don't claim Judah? And you say, you know what, Garfield? I don't know. I'm gonna look into that. The main tribes that they claim are the northern tribes. They'll claim God, they'll claim Dan, they'll claim this, they'll claim that, but it has to be a northern tribe. The primary thing with the Hamitic hypothesis is claiming that. So what I'm going to do is before I shut down for the evening, I'm going to present one source just so that we could be up to date on what is going on in the world today as far as this conversation is concerned. There's also the book called The White Tribe. The White Tribe was talking about Zimbabwe, the way how Zimbabwe got structured. The people that built it must have been connected to the Jews. Let me say this. No, I'm not. I'm not dealing with belief, doing. I'm dealing if I accept the science or I don't accept the science. But what I'm going to do before I go, I'm going to bring up a book that's addressing exactly what we're talking about. So give me 1 minute. Let me just bring this up. You could go ahead and talk.
All right, family. So we're about to get out of here. He's going to present his last book for the evening, and we're going to pick this conversation up when him and Mikhail Ben Israel have their debate, which is coming up soon. They're going to talk about the terms on Sunday, and we'll get that back. So we're going to be here live with a debate on Maccabees TV between Garfield and Mikhail Ben Israel from Chicago. If you're in the, brothers and sisters, please hit the like button. What it does with the algorithm, people that's coming on to YouTube that's not aware of this conversation, they're able to come on and watch the video, and they're able to learn and participate as well. So just hit the like button if you could. I appreciate you, all you brothers and sisters, being on here. I appreciate all the questions, all the comments. I appreciate y'all being, for the most part, what I'm looking at is being respectful. As I told Garfield, and I'm not mad, it's all good, but when I come to his channel, even if I just make a comment, the comment boards, man, they be coming at me, they call me everything but a son of God. Like, God damn. They be dissing the shit out of me, boy. You know what I'm saying? Even when I be coming in, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, me and Garfield just talk, we good. They be like, oh, fuck you. You pseudo, you stupid. You
Remember, you can't really curse on live.
Yeah, well, I already know this video is not going to be monetized. Even your moderator, Sean, he just going in. You know what I'm saying? Kayla be going in. Kayla was just dissing the hell out of me. I was like, damn. I'm like, I'm not even coming at you, sis. She was like, well, F you. And I'm like, okay. It's all good. But nevertheless, yeah, family, just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know, it's all about information. It's all about learning. And I will say this. I'll say this, right? Whether you were angry at him or not, whether you hate him or not, right? There's some things that he said to you, brothers and sisters, that you weren't aware of. Just be real with yourself. You're not aware of. There's some stuff that he and I were talking about you weren't aware of. So now it behooves you, if you heard something you didn't know, go and do some research so you could familiarize yourself a little better. So the next time you hear this spoken about, you know what it's about. Because I've always said this to you, and this is without him on a call. A lot of you Israelites, y'all religious because you are. Because you are. You're religious. You know you say you're Israelite, and you just believe, and you don't really do any research or any study until somebody hits you upside your head, and then you're confused. You don't read nothing. You don't study nothing. Let me know when you have what you're looking for.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
All right, okay. Go ahead.
All right. The name of the book, by the way, is I gotta get the name of the book before I even talk about it. So I gotta give you all that respect. Hold on. Let me make this bigger. All right, cool. All right. I hope you guys could see this. I'm really hoping you guys could make this out. But this is on page 261. Let me just go to the beginning of the book. All right, this is the book right here. It's David M. Goldenberg, Black and Slave. It's the Studies of the Bible and Its Reception, Volume 10. All right, these are the people that edited Thomas Roma, exactly. All right, the origins and the history of the curse of Ham. Now, the page I'm going to deals directly with West Africa and the sources. All right, so it talks about the West African sources and where they got them from. So we have the ancient, several West African traditions indicate a genealogical connection between Black Africans and the ancient Canaanites. Muhammad Bello, scholar and second sultan of Sokoto and Hausaland in northern Nigeria, wrote a history of the Yoruba in 1812. He included this account of the Yoruba origins. The people of the lands of Yoruba are from the remnants of the people of the Banu Canaan, who were the tribe of Nimrod. The reason for their dwelling in the West, based upon what has been narrated, is that Arab ibn Khattan drove them out from Iraq towards the West. They then journeyed between the lands of Egypt and Abyssinia until they reached the lands presently known as Yoruba. In every land which they passed, they left behind a group of their people in that land. It is said that the indigenous blacks who reside in the mountains in this region is from them. Likewise are the people of Yaru from them. All right.
If I could just tell you real quick, Garfield, just tell the people the name of the book again, because for some reason when you're sharing the screen, it is a little blurry. I can see it too. It is a little blurry. I don't know if you can see it. It is a little blurry.
Or is it a little blurry? All right.
It is a little blurry. Just tell them the name of the book. They can go research it themselves.
Let's see if I could make this bigger. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, that's way better.
All right.
Yeah, that's way better. That's way better.
All right. The Explorer, it's called The Studies of the Bible and Its Reception, David M. Goldberg, Black Enslaved, The Origins and History of the Curse of Ham. He also wrote a book, what this brother inboxed me the other day too, talked about how the Israelites used to own African slaves during the before the Muslim period. But that's another story for another time. All right. So now the explorer Hugh Clapperton visited Bello in Sokoto and copied large parts of Bello's work, which he later published. The story of the Yoruba origin corresponds to what Bello wrote, except that Clapperton has the Canaanites originating not from Iraq, but from Arabia. So, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm reading this example is because now in one person's oral tradition for the Yoruba, they came from Iraq, but the next tradition now is trying to say they come from Arabia. So another traditional history has the Yoruba coming from Medina. Still others put their origin in Mecca. Another West African source details the history of the Hausa people of northern Nigeria, whose origin it claims lie in two migrations, one from Baghdad and one from Canaan. So ladies and gentlemen, you got like 4 to 5 different stories with the Yoruba alone with their oral tradition. 4 to 5. One said they come from Iraq, the next from Arabia, one from Medina, one from Mecca, other one from Canaan. Another one said, okay, we had 2 migrations, one from Baghdad and one from Canaan. So what about Mecca and what about Medina? It has to do with who is in control of you at the time. All right, let me prove. Let me just read another part. Now, in page 262, it says older scholarship accepted the historicity of these migrations. The consensus, I can't say consensus around Daniela. The consensus of scholarship today, however, does not. Robin Law and others have concluded that the Yoruba stories are legendary. The more general view nowadays is that these traditions of migration from the Middle East are to be explained by the expansion of the influence of Islam in sub-Saharan Africa in relatively recent times. The concern of African peoples to claim origins from Islamic world reflects no more than a desire to relate themselves to what was seen as a prestigious world civilization at the time. All right. And by the way, if you notice, the page is full of sources so that you could go back. Daniela would love this because you get to go back and read all the sources that they drawing their conclusions from. Similarly, Murray last wrote of the Hausa accounts in the Kano Chronicle that they are almost wholly legendary, reflecting 16th or 17th century anachronisms. An indication of the Islamic influence is the adoption of various Muslim traditions and personalities in these stories. As Law has shown, these traditions and personalities were adopted even to fashion stories that legitimate opposition to Islam. Now, what does he mean by adopting stories? They'll claim look at this. The claims of origins in the East goes beyond the Yoruba and Hausa. Law mentions the kings of Ghana, who claim descent from the Caliph Ali, the son-in-law and 4th successor of Muhammad. I thought Ghana was Hebrew or Israelite. I thought it was Hebrew or Israelite. But look at this. They were at one point claiming they come from the Caliph Ali. It has to do with trying to be associated with greatness, family. That's all it got to do with it. I'm not disrespecting the elders. I'm not disrespecting the people from these cultures, but they are not Muslims and they are not Israelites. They switch their oral traditions to the times that they're living in. That's all it is. And that's all this book is pointing out. It's all it's pointing out. It points out that these people claiming that they come from areas, they claim it for a specific reason, because guess what? Islam played a major role in what they did to Africa, and they got the Abrahamic faith because of Islam. And guess what? Guess what, family? You could take it or leave it alone. I'm just giving you the source. If you do want that book, you can email me at daggersquad1@gmail.com. And you know what? My brother Daniela I don't know if I brought it up or you brought it up. We talked about the Sefwi people. The Sefwi, I brought it up, and I think you said that the people in Africa claim it. I know you've heard people in Ghana claim that they're Israelites, and people.
Yeah, of course.
I've heard it a lot. But the point is, they were claiming that there was Muslims at one time. That was the oral tradition. But it changed. Why did it change? Why did it change? Oh, none of those claimed the Yoruba are from West Africa. Dwayne Joseph, that was not the point of the conversation, because yes, Yoruba do claim that they come from the east, or they do claim that they come from where they are. Just like the Igbo. The Igbo got 42 different names for God. None don't relate to Yahweh, but hey, people in Igbo land claim that they're Jews. They claim it all the day. We gotta look at the other side. This is the purpose of my book again. To look at all sides, look at it and make a decision. Y'all ain't gonna stop being Israelite. I can't stop that. But I'm just bringing you to a better understanding, giving you sources so you could research them yourselves and see why people come to the conclusion.
All right. So, all right, brothers and sisters, we're about to get out of here. I'm gonna get the brother the rest of the night, and I'm about to break out myself. So y'all got a chance to ask the questions. Some of y'all, a lot of y'all got y'all questions answered. Whether you accept the answers or not is neither here nor there. I'm trying to be objective. And a lot of brother, I hope that he feels as though he got a chance to express himself. I didn't stop him, whether I agree or disagree with what he was saying. I allowed him to speak. And he'll be back, and he'll be debating Mikael Ben Israel. And of course, he and myself, once his book comes out, I will make a list of what I don't agree with in the book and why. And then we'll have our long-awaited conversation, which I think the whole community is waiting for. Before, everybody's waiting for me and Shaka to go at it, but Shaka retired. He done got whipped out. He got a woman. He done got whipped out.
No. Tell the truth. Garfield beat. That's what you need to say. Garfield beat him up, and he ran off. That's it. That's all it.
You told him that he can't come back to the community no more. I know you said that. You know what I'm saying? I know you said that he couldn't come back to the community no more. So, you know, it's either Garfield told him he can't come back no more after that. After he said that the Egyptians had history, that they had chattel slavery, which I have to agree with Garfield. I don't know where the hell he got that. That's crazy. He said the Egyptians were having chattel slavery.
Crazy. This thing, the dude, I'm on a live one day, right, talking about Shaka, right? So this dude was in the course with Shaka. Do you know the dude is on level 4, like the 4th class? He didn't even have the whole course set up, and he's teaching this. Wow. That was just so nuts about the whole thing. I'm not trying to talk bad about Shaka or whatever. Support him if you can, if you want to take his course. But at least if you're gonna teach something, like you got some stuff on your website that I actually look at, check out, and I actually like you for that. But I can't come out in public and say it because people go, "Oh, you're an Israelite now." But the whole calendar and Passover stuff, I actually had to study it, because I really don't know Passover. I grew up in a Christian household. I don't know Passover. I don't know what y'all do there. I don't know why y'all dress. I don't know what you eat, what you talk about. I don't know nothing about Passover, how it's done. So I have to go to somebody who actually practices it. Devon was actually telling me stuff, but he don't like to come out and tell me stuff because he think I got a motive. Yes, I do got a damn motive. But the point is, I want to know how Passover is done. And the other brother that you had on about the calendar. Oh man, I wish if he's watching, bro, I want to talk to you about the calendars. Because that's something very important that nobody talks about in the community. Nobody. I heard him on your channel one day and he blew my mind. I really want to get into that calendar because the calendar is one of the most complicated things. And this is why when you talk about the people who wrote the Bible were goat herders, no, they weren't. No, they weren't, ladies and gentlemen. Those people, and when I'm learning the language now, those people were not. Those people were very extremely educated. They have epithets. They got metaphors. They got all type of eponymous metaphors. They got etiology. Come on, I couldn't write that. Right. I'm not that intelligent. So
I got good news for you. Jeremiah Judah said he's going to give you a rematch. All right.
Let me do like what's his name? Mighty Hebrew. Shalom, shalom, brother.
Jeremiah, you heard that? God said, yeah. You're the man. Yeah.
And by the way, if I might just go, you know what? I might just go live right after this. If Jeremiah want to come up live, come on over there.
Jeremiah said he's gonna go live right after this and get up on there, man. You said you're the champ.
You the champ. Let's go
You
live.
the champ. Go do your thing, bro. Because Daniela was just asking questions. Me and Garfield were not debating today. I know y'all want to see that. That's coming. We're just talking. But you the champ. So go on over there, man, and make us proud as Israelites. You heard? I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, and Katazak.
Go on your channel, man. Say that you done daggered me. We just talking. Don't.
I ain't even paying you no mind right now.
Huh?
I'm not even paying you no mind right now.
All right, man. Because I go over there and be like, yo, I just daggered this guy when we just talking, man.
I mean, if we had more bills like this, it would have been better. I think if we had more bills like this, the communities would understand each other better. If you notice, I didn't come on and say, hey, Abraham don't exist, Moses don't exist. I didn't come on with that, right? People was expecting me to say that. So it's not about they didn't exist. The issue is we don't have evidence that these people existed. The consensus, which you don't do, let me say it again, so that they don't think they're actual people. They're more like eponymous ancestors. Eponymous metaphors, my bad. Eponymous metaphors. But hold on a second. Let me schedule my meeting while I'm live here on the air with you. What should I call it? Let me ask the audience. What should I call my show?
Hey, y'all like Cameron said, I'm gonna be preaching Ephah in 3 months. You stand by that? You stand by that? I know who you are too. You said you stand by that. I'm gonna preach an Ephah in 3 months.
That's one of your former Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah, I know the guy. I know the brother is. Okay,
bro, he's well mannered, so you know he's
no, yeah, he's cool. He's cool people. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
he ain't no Sean, right?
yeah. Sean was going in on me in the last. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna go on him too. I said I'm not gonna do that because I know he didn't mean nothing by it. So I'm not even gonna match him for the shit he said when I came. That time I called you in right after you went on Sunday. I called you in and told you about the book and all that. The British Monarchy book. We was talking. He was in the comment boards just going in on me. I'm like, God damn.
But you know, I could have took that out of my presentation, right? And I didn't.
Huh?
You know, I could have took that out of my presentation, right? Because the presentation was already done. But I said, I made the error, and it is what it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it's all good, man. We're all trying to get to the bottom of the truth and everything. So, yeah, man, do your thing. Go live. I'll check it out tomorrow. If you go live after we hang up.
Did I hear correctly? I would crush that. I'm sure you would, Mr. Moss. I'm going live right now. Pre-Thanksgiving. I'm gonna call it pre-Thanksgiving showdown. Let's see how many people come. Jeremiah,
you gotta get over there now. He said he calling it the showdown. He calling you out. You better get your ass over there. Me personally, I'm about to go eat some food, and I'm about to watch The Godfather of Harlem.
have you watched the whole series?
No, I haven't started yet. I'm starting tonight. I heard it was good though, so I'm about to go watch that.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out because I got a little free site. Cause I don't have none of that shit. I got a little free site I go to, so I'm about to go check it out right now. Hey everybody, I appreciate y'all. Mika, I already know you're gonna be over on the other side in a minute. You know what I'm saying? You play both sides. Uzziah said, when is the FOP and the ISUPK debate? There's no date for that. Nobody ever said there was gonna be a debate like that. Fish said it was a good show. That's good. As long as you come here, feel like you got something from what we're talking about, that's good. Whether you agree with Brother Garfield, whether you agree with me, as long as you got something, and I'm not mad. People we think me and Garfield got beef. When we see each other, we laugh, we joke. Hold on, like it be, you know what I'm saying? When we talk that shit, it's just to get y'all interested so y'all start learning, because niggas don't like to read books, man. Y'all need to read and research and study, but there's no real beef. Like I said something, Garfield, somebody that called me was like, yo, Garfield said you were saying you're gonna do it, no. it wasn't even that. No.
Yeah, you did on your live, bro. You went in on your live.
Sometimes I didn't say I was gonna do nothing crazy, bro. So I think it was wild.
You probably didn't hear yourself properly, but I'm like, what? And then I'm listening to it like 4 a.m, so I'm half asleep anyway. So maybe I did hear it incorrectly, but
nah, bro. Come on, bro. I know. Listen, I'm not gonna threaten you because of information. Come on, bro. I'm saying, and I don't know. You know what I mean? No, I'm not gonna ever do that, bro. Me and you gonna go in. You gonna go on your channel tomorrow. You gonna tell me I'm a pseudo. You gonna talk shit about me?
I don't say nothing.
I'm good with that. I'm good. No, I don't want you to stop.
Maybe the day after tomorrow, but not tomorrow.
Yeah, not that. Yeah, okay, not tomorrow. The day after tomorrow. I don't want you to stop. That shit never bothers me, bro. Trust me. I never want you to stop. I want you to go in on me and everything, because it just makes me just want to. You know what I'm saying? check my information that much more. I'm never mad at that. But if you ever have a problem with something I say, just reach out to me. Trust me, I'm not talking no violent shit, bro. It ain't that serious.
All right. That's what's up. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, let me just put the link in the chat so people could come on and we could build live. I'm live right now on the Dagger Squad. If you want to subscribe. Those who are here because of me, subscribe to Daniela. Daniela has a wonderful system of Maccabees. They got a lot of information. I watch that a lot because it has to do with health and it has to do with making you better. Garfield, do you think most West Haitians are West Africans? Seeing that voodoo comes from Benin Alpes, I think that you were in. Yes, I do.
And I agree also.
Yeah, I think, and by the way, too, I think every Hebrew Israelite believes that they come from West Africa. They just think that they came from another place to get to West Africa. I disagree because of the E1B1A strain that they have is one that never left Africa. The E1B1A strain that goes into Israel was years or thousands of years ago, and we don't believe in no thousands of years ago if you're a Hebrew Israelite. So I will say this. Yeah, and I do agree with Genesis 49ers. We got to be more respectful. And if we're more respectful, the people are going to learn more. I could have came on here and said, you pseudo, get the F out of here. And we could have been back and forth. But I've never been like that with Daniela. People think that because sometimes on Facebook, I F with him. And, nah, we are never like this in person. All right. And that's because I respect. And by the way, for all the studies you did with King James, whether I disagree or not, that's a lot of goddamn studies, bro. I don't think your elders went in like you. I'm just going to say that for the record. I don't think they did, bro. I don't think they did. But you got to admit, no one has ever came at you about King James before like Garfield. You got to admit that. I've watched a lot of your videos.
You
I've done some research on you. I've talked to people.
Maybe you turn the stove up and you turn, listen, I'll say it. You turn the stove up and you maybe have to go back and be like, okay. Okay. So respect you for that. I'm going to end my live. If y'all want to continue with the brother, y'all go over to the Dagger Squad channel. With that, this is your brother, Priest Daniel, Alliance of Israel, Maccabees Alliance Council. We'll be back real soon. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow with a PowerPoint. Nothing to do with this, just something else. Right, cool. Shalom to the family.
And thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
No doubt. Peace.